The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie ever created.
Don't listen to Coleman.
It's the best, dude. I'm just saying.
Will not be intimidated by you.
Is that so? Then how about...
And damn it, I love Kylo Ren.
We won't talk about the bet that he lost.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to a Cantina late night stream for Scotty, Hawk, and
Hank,
Brisbane.
Hawk. You know, I've been called worse.
We're here to talk about some stuff today that's going to maybe trigger some people in the chat. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it does. And maybe make some other people happy. I don't know. But how you guys feeling right now talking about Kenobi?
So
I'm hyped.
I'm on the same page I was from the very beginning, which is Ewan executive producing Kenobi. I've watched the guy in his motorcycle series. He loves that character so much. There is absolutely no way that this series is not going to be great. I will go to my death on this one. Absolutely no way.
So you're going to die on that hill, huh?
I will die on that hill.
Okay.
100%.
Hawk, what are you thinking?
It's a bold strategy. It's so
Let's
tough.
see how it pays off, Cotton.
Yeah, dude, it's so tough because this show has to hit a lot of chords. It's got to pull on a lot of heartstrings and in the right way. But the original people are involved. Hayden's coming back. I mean, those are the things I'm holding on to as like my hope. But every time we talk about it, dude, we just snowball into like, man, this show is going to be crazy for me.
So my thought process, I agree with you guys a lot when it comes to, obviously Ewan is going to be a massive impact on the series, which is huge because this is somebody who played Kenobi for a long time. I love the fact that he's having a big influence on the show, but just like Amazon, Power of the Rings or whatever that's going to be called, when it boils down to it, whoever is at the top of the chain is going to be the person that makes the call about how the show goes. No matter how passionate the people are underneath it, who makes the call? It's the people at the top.
Kathleen Kennedy said 0 things about Book of Boba.
I wasn't even thinking about Kathleen.
But you said at the top, she said the rematch of the century, blah, blah, whatever. I have to tell you, honestly, it's going to be amazing. 100% it's going to be amazing.
Are you putting that as a bet right now? It's going to be amazing?
What do you want to bet?
What's your most valuable Lego?
Tough. That's very tough.
Let's put that AT-AT behind you up against...
Which one? The AT-AT?
I don't know. Legos are basically made of pure gold these days. I feel like I don't have anything I can put up against that. I don't know.
I'll put $200 up. How about that? I'll put $200 up on my side.
Yeah, no, I don't know what kind of you're talking about like Halcyon Cruiser Disney money right now. I don't have that kind of money. What are you talking about? I bought the vintage collection Razor Crest, bro. I don't have any money.
Dude, I have been so confident about this Kenobi series since before it came out. There's the Book of Boba Fett. I don't want to go into it. Kenobi is going to be amazing.
We're done with Boba. We're done with Boba. Water under the bridge. What makes you so confident?
I think I'm so confident because it has the prequels. It has Ewan. It has Hayden. It has so many things in it that are going to be so amazing. And again, all deference to Temp in Book of Boba Fett. What the fuck? Right? It was totally filler from the beginning. Right? It's not the same thing for Kenobi. Kenobi is going to be, it's just got to be amazing. How can it not be?
So I feel like you're of the mindset that it has to be, otherwise.
Yep. It is going to be more divisive. I'm saying it. More
I think
divisive
I
than
think there
anything.
are I have to say I think there are a lot of folks that are like,
Potential.
if Kenobi isn't great, I'm done with this shit. And that's a very strong statement for me, right? Because I also think Andor is going to be amazing, right? But there are a lot of folks who are like, listen, Disney doesn't know Star Wars. They can't do anything with this shit. Look what just happened with Book of Boba, proving my point. They're not respecting the OT characters, etc., etc., etc. And I'm like, but I was just rewatching a lot of Dave Filoni talking about Rebels and talking about his plan and talking about his interviews from the 2019 celebration and all that. And I'm like, say what you want about Filoni. He will make them money. So I'm like, I just don't
The
think
money doesn't mean good Star Wars.
in this case it does.
Maybe.
In this case it does. I think so.
So my
forgot what I was
question
gonna
is, the big thing I want to talk about is the Vader meetup, right? This is what everybody's buzzing about right now. Can Vader meet up with Kenobi and not break canon?
Yes.
Now you guys are of a different camp than I am, and even one of my good buddies, Justin Is Lost, who's never on the side of Disney, says like they can totally do it. It's fine. They should do it. You're just thinking about perceived headcanon. You got it wrong. I'm of the trope that if they meet up in real life, it totally breaks stuff within the Star Wars universe, and I hate it. I don't want it. I don't like it. You give me a Force vision where they fight, I'm super down. We saw in the concept art where Vader is fighting Kenobi in his armor on Mustafar. That's a Force vision. Change my fucking mind.
What does it break? What canon does it break if they meet in person?
And I think Mustafar is one of the only places they can meet because it's the last place that Kenobi knows of Anakin existing. He's going to put 2 and 2 together and be like, I got to start my search there. And then he's going to find a castle.
Do you actually think that Obi-Wan's going to, in this series?
I think he's going to Mustafar.
He's going to Mustafar? You think so?
I think the concept art is there.
You think Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to leave Tatooine to go to Mustafar to find Darth Vader?
Yeah.
I personally don't agree with.
What an idiot!
I think it could potentially be something like Inquisitors are the mini boss of the series, and they openly admit that they follow this Vader and Palpatine. They could even be the ones that tell him about Anakin at the request of Palpatine. So, I mean, Palpatine could be in the show too. Have they not tried to not Palpatine, but I don't know. There's just, because of the Inquisitors, I'm getting too far out there, but because of the Inquisitors and their knowledge, if they encounter Obi-Wan, they could be the connection between the Anakin Vader gap in his knowledge.
I think we had this, there was a question about this recently. I guess it was on Booper Council this last week, which is like, do they still think Kenobi is alive? And I was like, of course. And I think this series is reinforcing that, which is the people who are the Inquisitors at this point are fallen Jedi. And they're like, well, let's see, who's not dead yet? There's at least 2 major Jedi that aren't dead yet that absolutely were involved with all of this. That's Yoda and it's Kenobi. And of course they're focusing on Kenobi. And they're like, well, who was Kenobi friendly with? It's not rocket science, right? It's Bail Organa and all the rest of this. I'm kind of like, so if you're going to piece all this together, at least it seems to make sense, right? We've seen Organa in so many things, right? Whether it's Rebels, whether it's he's everywhere, right? So everyone's like, oh, Leia, he's going to go off, so blah blah and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, if he's going to go off world for anything, it's going to be for an Organa problem.
Yeah, okay. So the Organa stuff makes sense. I see a young Leia thing that could totally make sense. If Organa hits him up on the speakerphone and is like, "Hey, we got a problem over here on Alderaan. I need some help." I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him leaving Tatooine. I'm okay with him going out and doing the stuff that he needs to do as a Jedi, because that's something that we saw in the book, was that he finally felt again after he'd helped the people on Tatooine like he was a Jedi again, right? He found his kind of purpose again in helping people without the Jedi Order. So I would love to see some of that stuff. I'd love to see Kenobi going out and doing fun, not fun, but fun for us stuff, and being the Jedi that he's supposed to be. That's all okay to me. And I know Obsession is like, if he leaves the planet, it's breaking canon. I don't want to see any of it. I hate it. I get it. For me, that's way less of a transgression than Vader and Obi-Wan meeting again and fighting.
Why?
That's a problem for me.
Why?
Because
Why
of
is it a
what
problem?
was said.
What was said when?
Do we have to go through the quotations?
Sure.
No.
It's your hang up. I mean,
Yeah, that's what you're saying. I want to hear. I want to hear why those quotations are the problem. Because he said, "Well, when we last met, I was still learning. Now I am the master." But we don't. But everyone's like, in my head, we say, okay, that means the last time they met was Mustafar. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And everyone's like, well, you're just filling in the blanks. Well, when all that was said, there were no prequels. There was no Revenge of the Sith. There was none of that. And then, okay, the Revenge of the Sith showed up. So now everyone's like, well, now we're like filling in the blanks that he must have referred to the Revenge of the Sith. Okay, well, now there's a Kenobi series. Why could we not now say, well, maybe what he was referring to was the Kenobi series? Why is the Kenobi series any less legitimate than the prequels?
It cheapens the last fight in Revenge of the Sith.
Why?
Because
there was no Revenge of the Sith last fight when A New Hope was out. So
okay,
what we're saying
George,
is
George wrote those two.
This is where we come back from. George Lucas sold Star Wars. So if we're like, because George wrote those two, if anything that happens next is invalid because George didn't write it, it's false.
and my argument on that too is, do you want these characters' stories to die? Because George isn't writing them anymore, so you want them to die. They're not allowed to touch them anymore. You'll never get new content on them.
This is why I said the other day,
I don't want that.
We should get George at a press conference and say, "Hey, George, new shit's coming out now."
No, the way
What do
I
you
see
think?
it, the way I think about it is the same way when the Tolkien estate gave away the rights. Okay, it's like anything that he wrote, it has to be true to that, and you have to stick with that. That's all we're asking. If you want to make new stories, make new stories, no problem. Like High Republic shit, have fun, go do your thing. Doesn't mean everybody's gonna buy it, but I mean, fucking do it, and people are gonna enjoy it or not enjoy it, whatever. Rogue One, it's like that. People may enjoy it, some other people don't enjoy it. That's fine.
But you don't want them to do stories like Rogue One, because there's a chance they could change stuff.
What legacy characters were in Rogue One other than Vader being what exactly Vader does in Rogue One? What legacy character, what did they change? What was canon breaking in, what even touched canon really in Rogue One?
Which canon? Right? The problem is when we say they can't do this, they can't do that, or who's in charge of deciding what they can or can't touch with canon? And my whole thing is George Lucas decided he was going to touch canon when he put out the prequels. And we had an experience with Revenge of the Sith, which was a great experience, right?
But it's different when it's George because he is canon. It came from his head.
He sold it, right? If George Lucas wanted to continue telling canon stories, he should have sold the shit, right? The problem is if our our perspective is, unless George Lucas tells it, it's invalid, we're all lost. Because he's done telling it.
Okay, I see Leia, stormtroopers, Mon Mothma, Tarkin. What I'm saying is, what did they do in that would contradict or even give any divisive aspect to what they did? Like, what in Rogue One made someone question how they would act? That's all I'm trying to say is that.
So they played it safe in Rogue One.
Yeah, and that's a good example.
It's extremely easy to not fuck something up. That's all I'm saying. It's extremely easy to not fuck something up. And so why is this big point of contention something that they're so focused on?
Because I feel like they're trying to continue to tell the story that was portrayed in A New Hope about before and what happened and all this. And everyone's like, well, they can't have ever seen each other between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope because that breaks some canon. And I'm like, which canon? Right?
This is like the same kind of shit that I think about when I think about the sequels. Like, I don't want to have to do my homework about why this happened. Like, it's been established for a long time, a very long time. We've known they haven't seen each other since Revenge of the Sith. And then we saw him again.
We don't know that.
But he doesn't go, I haven't seen you since that time you left me burning in the lava and I almost died.
The only reason we think we
should go back then.
The only reason we think we know that is because there hasn't been any stories told between Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One. That's the only reason why we think we know that.
It's fear, because we fear they're not going to do it justice.
So then explain why he says, when I left you, I was but the learner.
Well, that's easy, right?
Okay.
I mean, he's burning there. He clearly didn't make it. You know, Obi-Wan's like, fuck you again, I got you. And then Anakin's been stewing on that. He's like, all right, well, that didn't work out. I thought I knew what was going on. Then Palpatine rescues him. Then he gets put in the suit. And ever since
he have
then,
the red eyes
he's been
when they
learning. He's been learning the ways of the Sith. He's been figuring out how to be the best remaining Jedi that exists. To me, that's really easy.
So he's calling himself a master of the Sith
of the
when they meet?
Yeah. I think so too.
I don't think Anakin differentiates actually between the Sith and the Jedi. For me, I think Anakin says, I'm a master of the Force. Everyone thought I was going to be the chosen one. Everyone thought this, that, and the other. I'm a master of this thing that everyone's been trying to define as bad or good or this way or the other. I think, for me, that Anakin thought he had it all figured out. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe Ahsoka figured it out better than Anakin, and we'll see. But I'm saying that's what I think he means by master.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what Nick just said too, Vader was, Vader/Anakin was always Obi-Wan's learner, always the apprentice. So now he's like, nah, not anymore, old man.
Phil McCracken wants me to play a Rise of Skywalker clip. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. We don't really do the sequels on my channel. I appreciate you. I love you.
And also shout out to Abby too. Like me, it's just as simple as it deepens the story. I enjoy the stories they tell because it deepens it. Yeah.
Felicity with $10 says, if you're a fan who cares about what Disney Star Wars does to canon, they aren't catering to you. The version of the original trilogy characters that you love don't exist in their plans except to get butts in seats. I agree and I disagree. I agree and I disagree. Let's go ahead and kill a youngling though.
Thank you.
Gotta get rid of those younglings. So to kind of expand on that, look, Disney is a money maker. That's the whole reason that they're here. That's the whole reason that they bought Star Wars. They didn't buy Star Wars to preserve the legacy of Star Wars. They bought it to make money. And so, the hard part for me is I have to constantly remember, look, they're trying to make money. And so the battle really isn't for the soul of Star Wars. It's for Disney to understand what Star Wars fans want, because the soul of Star Wars is gone completely. 1,000%. It died the second that George Lucas sold it. Unfortunately, the soul of Star Wars died that day. What we have to do, what we have to try to fight for, is Disney to understand what it stood for and the stories that they told. That's where I'm at. So that's all I'm trying to talk about.
I got to push back, bro. I think that after The Force Awakens came out, a lot of people were like, bro, that felt like the soul of Star Wars. And then we get
it's because they
Rian
remade A New Hope.
Well, for sure, but did it not feel like the literal soul of Star Wars? Everybody was pretty hyped on that movie.
Yeah, because they remade A New Hope.
Even people at Geeks and Gamers were hyped on that movie. They've come around now 180, but then, and my biggest thing for like Last Jedi, bro, is like out of all the 3 damn movies, that one at least did the different thing that is like the classic George Lucas. Let's switch it up on everybody. Let's change this story, make it crazier than it ever has been. It backfired. Now we're here, but
I know what he meant, dude.
My issue on this topic again is, yes, they did a bad job with the sequels, and I personally blame Bob Chapek, and we can have a whole other stream about why I blame.
Oh, you
Bob
love
Chapek.
Bob Chapek.
Fuck Bob Chapek and the fucking bantha he rode in on. But my whole thing is they didn't want to ruin Star Wars. Everyone's like, no, Disney. It feels like right now where it's like, well, Disney's plan was to ruin Star Wars. No, they didn't understand what they were getting. Once Bob Iger was like, all right, we got this, and then we trust other people. And yes, I'll put some blame on Kathleen Kennedy for this. Absolutely. Right? They didn't put the people in charge that knew the legacy. Right? But my issue is everyone continues to say because of that misstep that they could never, ever respect Star Wars in the future. And that's where I have a problem. Right? We have to, at some point, we have to let that go, and we have to trust that they can do better, and that there are still people there, Filoni, Chang, there's people there that love this franchise, that are being given the opportunity to express that. And we have to my opinion is, we have to give them that chance to do so. And if it continues to be bad, and we're like, this new regime doesn't know what they're doing, then maybe the franchise really is dead. But it's not dead at this moment.
Not yet.
You just have to keep supporting what you like. I think about like if these movies made the amount of money that the Marvel's movies are making, we would already have more content. These shows would already be like steamrolling through us right now.
Yeah, but Marvel's not a great Scotty. Well, Marvel
for sure, but I'm just saying because
it's not
every
a great
single.
example.
But I'm just saying because of every single social media post that Star Wars puts out, we're still bitching about the sequels. Like,
yeah, well, they fucked up.
I get it, but
what do you want?
Marvel hasn't fucked up.
What I want
don't like Iron Man, but Marvel
like.
Iron Man movies are not the same fuck up as the sequels, right? Marvel didn't fuck up the same way. Someone's like, "Well, Marvel gets it right." Fuck Marvel. I mean, I like Marvel, but I'm saying it's not the same thing. It's just not.
I agree.
It doesn't feel the same, but I don't think it ever will. Like, I don't think it's ever gonna feel like George Lucas's Star Wars.
I agree with you. And on X-Wing's point, if it doesn't feel like George Lucas's Star Wars, is it still Star Wars?
I mean, the prequels.
Emotional damage.
But really, how much did the prequels feel like the originals?
It's a recency
completely
bias,
different,
right? it's a recency bias because, again, the whole reason why Lucas had to step away from Star Wars was because the prequels. And again, as an OT guy who waited in line like everyone else to see the Phantom Menace, I was like, this is great.
Vora has a solid point.
You know what I mean? It's like I just don't know how we get past this seriously emotional damage, right, from the sequel trilogy. Again, those 3 movies and all that blah blah blah, that was awful. Well, sorry for anyone in the chat who liked them. I thought it was awful. Right? But for a lot of people, they're like, because that was awful years ago now, it could never be good again. And that's the problem I have with going forward. I'm like, it can still be great.
So for me, you know, Vori brings up they have no source material. That's a comment that I hold near and dear to my heart because it was completely misread, but I'm going to keep capitalizing on it forever. She was talking about something completely different, but she said something stupid, and so I'm going to capitalize it. I've always loved that comment. There's no source material.
Yeah, me too.
She was talking about something else. But here's the deal: is that, you know, and it goes back to Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and how they're approaching that stuff. The bottom line is that whenever you inherit a franchise like Star Wars, you have to remember the fact that you didn't write this shit. You didn't create this universe. And so to take it and bastardize it and use it for your own ideals or whatever the case may be, it's a bastardization and it's a disrespect to the person that did write it. Now, to your point, Hawks, you're like, did the prequels feel like the OT? It's like, nah, dude, they were completely different, but this was his universe and he was creating it the way he wanted it to be. And so when I tell you there's some shit that George wrote, when I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, don't do that. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Okay. But it was his universe and it all came from his head. Star Wars literally came from the brain cavity of George Lucas. We wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't for that human. And so for me, when somebody picks up a franchise like that, they buy it, you have to take the time to respect what came before to understand where you have to go moving forward. And so for me, when we get all the look, I want new stories. I want new stories 1,000%. I feel like people in the expanded universe did a good job of at least trying to respect the legacy and take the characters. Were there some missteps? Oh my God, you should read some shit in the expanded universe. It's ridiculous, but you love it because they're trying to at least pay homage to what he did.
Well, for Christ's sake, man, isn't that what they're trying to do now? Come on.
Well,
they're not trying to do that now. They're just over there cashing checks. Like
this.
I don't understand how we knew what they were doing then, and we know what they're doing now.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Scotty Shill Hawks, right? But at this particular moment, right, it's like yes, there was a lot of things that came before that they chose, for right, wrong, or indifferent, not to continue with. Okay, fine. And then the sequels weren't great. And then things happened. And then 2 seasons of The Mandalorian were great. And for a lot of people, Book of Boba Fett was perfectly okay, right? And we're going and we're going and we're going, right? And for me, it's like everyone's like, well, you know, Kenobi, hopefully they don't fuck it up. Because if they do, I'm done. I'm done again. I've been so done. I'm done. I keep going done. I'm like, but they have to be able to fill in the blanks. Whether it's the blanks between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, whether it's the blanks between, oh, here I go, I'm going to get canceled, right? But between Return of the Jedi and the sequels, right? They have to be able to fill in the blanks. If our opinion is they can never fill in the blanks, then there will never be new Star Wars.
Hotspots? Do they have to poke at those hotspots? Is there any reason to poke at those hotspots?
Are there cold spots? Does anyone care about the cold spots? Everyone cares about the hot spots. So everyone's like, whoa, I mean, do they have to take a risk? Do they have to poke at the hot spots? And then there was like, everyone's like, okay, well, they're gonna poke at the cold spots. Well, they're fuck them. They're not doing the Lord's work. They're not going where we need them to go.
Well, I mean,
So
there's a
which
difference
way is
between
it?
there's a difference between doing something like Book of Boba Fett, where there's no really established lore. I mean, there's EU stuff, right? But is there really like an established something happened in the OT that might affect how people feel about it? Like, no, not at all. Book of Boba Fett, they closed the door on Boba in Return, and that was it. And so now everything's literally left to interpretation. You can think whatever you want. You can go read comics and you can read books and hear what Boba did and all that different stuff. Boba shoots Luke through the shoulder and captures him. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happens. But when it comes to what we're talking about with Kenobi, we're talking about a legacy character who is well established, and we're talking about now original trilogy and prequel trilogy continuity that's involved. I'm not going to call it canon because you guys are like, well, it's not canon, it's up to interpretation. I'm talking about continuity. From a continuity standpoint, it makes sense that they don't meet from then until then.
I personally feel like we're going to be much more satisfied by the way they fill in the blanks with Kenobi than we were with Book of Boba Fett. Why? Because we didn't need a Book of Boba Fett series. Nobody canceled. Nobody cared about Boba Fett, right? And so when they brought him back, I was kind of like, really? Why? Nobody was like itching for other than two people I know. No one was itching for Boba Fett to come back, right? Kenobi and Vader and all that stuff, everyone's like, okay, all eyes are on. I have to say again, for the record, that I don't think they're going to disappoint us. Now, the Inquisitors and some of the rest of it, I'm pretty sure the Inquisitors are a Disney creation. No, who's saying anything about that? Right? There were no Inquisitors in the EU. The Inquisitors are a Disney creation, right? And so we have to allow Disney on the current story group to tell a story. If we don't feel like they're capable of doing that, then check out now and don't watch any more content. God bless you. Maybe that makes me a shill again. I'm shilling, I guess.
You sound like a Twitter person. If you don't like it, then you could just leave, and Star Wars is not for you.
I don't mean that. I'm just saying the Star Wars we're going to get from this point forward is Disney Star Wars. There's nobody coming back with the old stuff and saying, okay, it's not going to be Disney Star Wars anymore. It doesn't mean it can't still be great Star Wars. I feel like there's a lot of people that say, well, as long as Disney is involved, it can't be great Star Wars. Well, then you know what? Go away. You know what? You're not going to like Star Wars again. I'm not that guy. I'm just not.
In my opinion,
this franchise for 40 years.
Yeah.
It's just not
Fake
me.
Fake fan.
I know.
Fake
I'm
fan.
sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
fake
I'm
fan.
just shilling again. I mean, I'm more of a shill than Hoskins.
Fake
I wish I had more.
You fucking nerd.
I wish I had more hair. It would be red. It would have more, or pink or purple. I'm just saying. God bless everyone. I'm not trying to be anything more than what I am. I'm just saying we have to move forward.
Here's what I think about Boba. I disagree with you a little bit that people didn't want Boba. I think he's always been a character that obviously is a cult classic fan favorite. Didn't do much, but we've always wondered about him. I think he got made because of the hype. Rodriguez hyped him up to get him into the show.
They were on that Mandalorian kick.
The scene hyped everybody up to give him a show. I think Disney is not disrespecting that character by including him in the overall arc of Mandalore rather than just killing him off. So like the people who are not down with the Boba show, I feel that there were moments I was not down with personally too, but the fact that he is now included in some of the overarching things and he basically has debts to Din Djarin, vice versa, we're going to get way more of him. Had they not done any of this, we wouldn't get any of it. So it's kind of where I'm at with the show.
I have to say, Scotty, I disagree. I hope we never see Boba again. Why do I hope we never see Boba again?
100% disagree.
Well, I know you do, right? But I hope we never see Boba again because they ruined that character. Right? For me, I did not like the Book of Boba Fett. For everyone that says I'm a Disney shill, fuck yourselves. Right? I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett. Right? But that doesn't mean I don't think they still have great stories to tell. And that I don't think Kenobi can be amazing. I don't think Andor could be amazing because I don't like something they put out doesn't invalidate their ability to tell a story. That's just me.
What was the best episode of Book of Boba Fett in your eyes?
Me?
Yeah.
I think it's probably, for me, it was probably episode 6. Was episode 6 the one that had Luke and him training and all that? I think it was, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Hawks?
I mean, it's maybe a cop out, but the finale.
Total cop out.
Too much.
You're a liar.
You're lying there.
You're just shilling.
No, you don't really mean that, do you, Hawks?
It's like I could put that one in the 6 tie, 6 and 7 tie back to back.
What an idiot!
Well, because honestly, like the reason 6 was good was because of Luke and Din, and the reason that the finale was really good was because of Din and Grogu. So, like, if I'm weighing those two things kind of against each other, we're not going to see Luke for quite some time. I kind of got a lean finale.
Dude, what's nuts? Everybody's saying 5. And 5 was just the Mando episode. It wasn't the Luke episode. And I'm a 6 shill.
So the reason why a lot of people are saying 5, and I get it, is because it had Mandalore lore, right? It had that. It had.
Was that 6 as well with Luke?
No, that was 5.
Yeah,
so
dude.
5 had him, losing his rights as a Mandalorian and all that, and 6 was the training and all that. So that's why for me, 5 and 6.
Graf Webb's about to drive to my house.
I'm sorry, Mexican Iron Man, but I couldn't do it. But 5 and 6 are so close, right? Because the lore on Mandalore, and then the Empire was total, the flashback and all that, and then 6 with blah, blah, blah. All those things. None of them had anything to do with Boba Fett.
I just want to... Mike, I'm sorry, man.
We love you, Mexican Iron Man. We do, but we just couldn't.
Look, I was supposed to be on EBN right now, okay? I was supposed to be on EBN, okay?
Me too.
All right? I shot the message. I said, hey, I want to come on. And they just ignored it. You know what I mean?
Awkward.
So I don't know what you want me to do, man. There's nothing I could do.
Coach said it was okay. Coach said it was okay.
This is the way I feel.
I love you.
F*** off.
Damn, whatever. EBN... Chat. It was episode 5. The Mandalore stuff. I'm with the chat.
All right. Chat's with them on that. For me, just seeing the Luke Skywalker that I know and love from the expanded universe, just seeing him post Return of the Jedi in his black robes, being a fucking Jedi again, made me so happy. And I know there are so many people on the internet that are like, oh, well, I don't want to see him like that. Like, how do you want to see him then? What can Disney do to make you fucking happy if we didn't get post Return of the Jedi Luke? Like, that's all I want. I just want to see the Luke that I love. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars, dude. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you think. what you like about Star Wars, whatever the case may be, where did it start? It's Luke Skywalker. And so I love seeing Luke Skywalker and seeing him, made up by Disney the way that he looked when I think about Luke and all the adventures that I read, the way that we see Luke Skywalker, the way that I've always thought of Luke Skywalker. It made me fucking happy. It just made me happy. So for me, I'm an episode 6 guy. I love me some Luke Skywalker. Give it to me.
Yeah. So I can't. That's why I said, episode 6 is so great, right? But I have to say honestly, I think for the Mandalorian story.
Oh shit.
There's episode 5 is much more important, right? For what's going on in the future, and maybe they'll do a Luke, Academy thing or whatever. I'm not disputing that. Of course, I'd love to see more Luke, but I think for what's going to come next, episode 5 means more, right? But I'm like, for me, I'm like, it's strange, right? Because before all this happened, I wasn't at all excited about Mandalorian season 3. I'm like, I don't give two shits about what's going on with Mandalore and all the rest of it. I'm like, doesn't sound exciting to me. And then because of Book of Boba Fett, I'm like, I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do next. So I'm like, so I have to, in my mind, I'm kind of like, well, if it didn't mean anything else to have Book of Boba Fett, then to have that excitement, that's great. But again, if you think about it, the people who've been watching The Mandalorian, did they watch the Book of Boba Fett? Because why would anyone watch the Book of Boba Fett expecting to see anything about the Mandalorian? It said the Book of Boba Fett. The layman wouldn't expect anything to do about the Mandalorian.
The Muggles.
Right?
Well, I think maybe they would because of the way Mando ended so far and him sitting on the throne at the end. They're like, okay, well, who is this guy? Like, that was the direct, like, get your ass over here and watch this show now. But other than that, the casuals, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm very excited now, much more so than I was, to see what's going on with Mando 3. I'm like, let's do it. Let's see what's going on. Right? Let's see Andor. Let's see that. Again, I'm not going to go back into Ahsoka, why I'm not excited about Ahsoka. But, I think we have.
Why are you not excited about Ahsoka?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous about Ahsoka.
Oh, talk to me. Let's go. You're not nervous about Kenobi and you're nervous about Ahsoka?
Didn't I just talk about this on Boomer Council? Am I like rerunning
last
myself?
Week. Mm-hmm.
No, 100%. What is this?
Fun begins.
No, I think there is so much problem with what people are expecting in Ahsoka. Kenobi is much more straightforward. Kenobi is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin, Vader. What's going on? Blah blah blah. With Ahsoka and all the rest of it, everyone's like, huh? Thrawn who? Which Thrawn? The first Zon Thrawn, the Rebels Thrawn, the next Thrawn, Ezra who?
Ascendancy Thrawn?
What's going on? Is the temple there? There is so much bullshit possibly with Ahsoka. I was like, I don't even want to go there.
Do your homework.
Let's get past this. Let's get past
Do your
this.
homework.
But
Where do you start?
The problem with doing homework is, which homework do you do? Is it the homework from the 90s? Is it the Rebels homework? Is it the recent homework? Is it the comics? Is it what's in Filoni's head? This is my problem with homework. I am a huge studier, right? So it's never been what Hawks is saying about homework. It's like, which fucking homework do you do? How do you know?
Yeah, this is all Filoni, baby. She's Gandalf. That's all I know. How he's gonna get her there?
Gandalf.
How he's gonna get her there? Yeah, because you remember when everybody heard her voice in The Rise of Skywalker and thought she was dead, he got a direct sketch from him that's Gandalf and Ahsoka, and the quote from Gandalf is, "Remember what happened when everyone thought I was dead?" I mean,
Literally,
bro, she's wearing the literal gray robes and has a white staff.
Little on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
the filming name of the Ahsoka series refers to Gandalf.
Yeah, it's
right. So I mean, it's like
what's the filming name for Ahsoka?
White Crow Storm
something
Storm
Crow,
and that is the name for Gandalf that one of the dwarves I think mentioned.
But it was Gandalf after.
Where's Callisto when we
Two
need her?
Towers. It was Gandalf the White. It wasn't
Gandalf the Gray.
The Gray, yeah.
You know what's crazy is that like my brain, dude. I think Andor is going to be
My
way
Lord of the
more
Rings
Star
fans
Wars.
are proud of me.
I think Andor is going to be way more Star Wars than Ahsoka is. I think
absolutely.
Andor is going to be like 100. The vibe I think about when I think about Andor, I think about beginning of Empire Strikes Back. That's all I think about when I think about Andor. Like just nitty gritty Star Wars rebel spy thriller, like real guttural Star Wars feeling is what I think about when I think about Andor. So I'm really excited.
And why is it going to be great? When you think about Rogue One really had the reason why folks like Rogue One. It really had nothing to do about any of the characters. It had to do about the time period and the story they were telling and all those things, right? And then it was like, okay, well, Disney did, Disney, fine. Those were all new Disney characters. Every one of them were. I'm
not gonna lie.
Well, not Vader, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I think for Andor, as they perpetuate that, how is it? That's why I keep saying, why do you not release Andor? Maybe I'm going to be wrong, but so why don't you release something about Andor now?
I'm right around REM sleep on Andor. People were talking earlier about the stakes in Boba Fett. It's like, what are the stakes in Andor?
There were no stakes in Boba Fett.
Right. What are the stakes in Andor? Like,
I don't know, like
the
fate of the
rebellion
galaxy.
For sure, that was Rogue One.
So we're just Empire.
Cool. So we're just gonna repeat Rogue One. We're gonna have Saul Guerrero in there, and
no,
it's going to be a continuity based on that.
I don't know. Did you like A New Hope and did you like Empire Strikes Back?
For sure.
Did you like Return of the Jedi?
For sure. But so is it going to be Rogue One?
So no, I have to go back again. Why? What was missing? I think there's two things that are required for a Star Wars story that resonates. Something about the Jedi and the Sith and the Empire. Right? Because everybody knows what those stakes are. Everybody knows what's going on there. You don't have to think about the Pikes. Is there something else going on? What's happening?
Who's the bad guy?
Who's the bad guy? Even in Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay, I know X-Wing doesn't like the way he got his name. Put that to the side. The Empire was there. They had a smuggler run.
Oh, there's more.
We're gonna have Inquisitors running around and.
No, I'm just saying there was. You didn't have to wonder who were the bad guys. What was going on? What was happening in the Book of Boba Fett the whole time? Everyone was like, "Well, is Kira going to show up?" I mean, these
are the Hutts the bad guys? Is
it the Hutts? I told you, I was like, the Hutts are gone. It was here and gone. They were just there for the Rancor, but that was it was surface level writing. So if we have to go on thinking about that, I'm like, well, Andor is where it's at. Even Bad Batch series season 2 is where it's at. The Empire is there. There's so many things that are going on.
Did you guys see this?
I knew Justin was.
You fucking nerd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how everybody's 50-50 on it.
No, Justin, we don't go back into that, but I'm with Justin. But all I'm saying is I don't think these series work unless you set up a villain that people understand. The Empire, the Imperial Remnant, the Sith, all these things, the rest of it just doesn't work.
And that's why this stuff makes sense. So if you make Andor, bam, everything's already established right off the bat. Bam, we know who's the bad guy. It's the Empire. Duh. Great. Good to go. I mean, when you go into Ahsoka and then you start getting into those muddy waters, is Thrawn the bad guy? Or is Ezra bad now? Who's the bad guy? What's going on? Is the remnant of the Empire the bad guy? Who's really the
This
bad
is
guy?
why I think Ahsoka is challenging. I think Ahsoka is challenging for the same reason Book of Boba Fett was challenging.
Hello.
Hey,
Oh, there's my
what
brother.
up? What up?
How's
But
everybody?
you're good, brother. You're on my page now, X-Wing. I'm like, Ahsoka gets challenging because we don't know which version of what are we going to get. I
Right.
think we're going to get a Rebels continuity. And for a lot of folks, that's not what they want to see. They don't want to see that version of events continue. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I think we're going to get.
But that's why Old Republic makes so much sense for them to make content in the Old Republic, because there is that very easy battle without the dogmatic views. You just have a massive army of Jedi and a massive army of Sith. Boom. There you go. Dark, light, bam. Problem solved, storytelling done. Let's tell some human stories in that era where we get a shit pile of lightsabers, a bunch of big battles, a bunch of the flashy clashy. Oh my God, I love to see this shit. Give me some John Williams in the middle of it, and everybody's happy. Done.
Well, everyone will never be happy, but I'm with you.
You know what I mean, though? I mean,
Yeah.
95% of Star Wars fans are going to be happy if you do a 400 versus 400 lightsaber battle between Sith and Jedi. It's a natural progression of the storytelling, because we went from Jedi are small, nobody knows about it. The next trilogy, the Jedi are big, everybody knows about it. The next trilogy, we get the Jedi in a point where it's like, dude, it's not even established organizations. It's just this massive war between the light and the dark. Nobody really understands it. That's a very fun place to explore.
The problem for me is always people don't want to allow the exploration, right? And I see that Spider-Man's like, well, people don't think they're going to explore the Rebels continuity. That makes sense. For me, it does. But for people, and even I'm the guy who's from the 90s and before that, who knows the original Zons and all that, everyone's like, well, no, that's not the right one, right? It needs to be that one or this one or the new one or the old one. And I'm like, we can't enter into these stories on face value for what the stories are trying to tell us, because we bring all this baggage with us, and each one of us brings a different kind of baggage.
I think they're gonna stick to script with flashbacks, kind of, but I think it would be nice or easier to understand where Ahsoka show is gonna go if it started like Boba did with the like right off with the Sarlacc pit, because that's where we last left off with him. So if say Kenobi's show leaves off with him literally just landing on Tatooine, and then the Ahsoka show will start with her just leaving with Sabine right there at the end, so it's not confusing. But I mean, that would be a really cool place to start.
The thing about Ahsoka for me is, God help me, it needs to have a bit of flashback, right? There was no reason for them to structure, in my opinion, there was no reason for them to structure the Book of Boba Fett in the way they did, with these weird, nonsensical storytelling flashbacks. Right, but because of how Ahsoka's been positioned, even in live action, in Mandalorian season 2, looking for Thrawn and all that, you always have to put in your mind that while all of us have seen every bit of animated content they've ever put out there, we always have to put in our minds the folks that have only ever seen it in the guises of the Mandalorian, and how are they going to explain that going forward, whether we agree with it or not, right? And so that's why they can't go back to a lot of the things I think that we love, because the people that they've recruited into the franchise since then, Nick doesn't want them recruiting anyone in the franchise, so put him aside. But for anyone else, the people they've recruited into the franchise since then, they don't know anything about anything that happened in Rebels.
Nope.
And
so you have to fit it into the context of what they saw in the Mandalorian.
And the thing is, to go on that with the Rebels stuff, I know there's people who struggled to get through Clone Wars because of the first 2 seasons, and they gave up with the animated stuff. They were like, no, we'll just stick to live action because I can't get through those first 2 seasons. Even though they like Ahsoka, they're like, oh, I can't get myself through this much hours before getting to the decent stuff that people talk about. So there is a lot of people that won't go and watch Rebels because of they couldn't get through Clone Wars. And that's something they've got to explain in the Ahsoka show. Like, what is this storyline with Thrawn, Ezra, and maybe they have to include flashbacks. I mean, I just get like skeptical with the whole World Between Worlds. Like, people keep talking about like this is going to retcon everything. In the episode with the World Between Worlds, we hear the sequel trilogy. We hear Rey. We hear Kylo, Echo, and the whole point of the World Between Worlds is it's a linear thing. You're only pulling someone out of time, and then they go back to where they were. Like, Ezra went back to where he was. Ahsoka went back to where she was. It's not like time travel where they can change the linear story of things. What, they're going to pull all the sequel trilogy characters out and just leave them in the World Between Worlds and go, like, it never happened.
I've seen the interviews with Dave specifically, and I'm 100% convinced that he used the World Between Worlds as a mechanism to make sure that he can continue the story of Ahsoka. Period. Mm-hmm. That's why the temple was destroyed. He's not going to continue with it. He doesn't want it to be anything more than the reason why Ahsoka is still in the story, and why Ahsoka is still looking for Ezra, and why Ahsoka still cares about Thrawn. Everyone's like, well, the Ahsoka has the... No, I am 100%, 99% sure that we're not going to have the World Between Worlds as a prominent part of the Ahsoka series because nobody would understand it. Well,
and I'm 99% sure they're gonna, because she's Ahsoka the White, and she's the only one that knows how to use it, and they need rewatchability. When people are done with the Ahsoka show, they're gonna go back and watch all the Rebels. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how Disney makes money. They can't get people to rewatch their shit, and this is how they do it.
No,
it's not time travel.
And again,
Hold up. I'll calm down. It's not time travel. When you're in there, all the timelines are still passing by. They're watching them in the mirror.
Did you watch? Can I send you the video? Can I send you the video of Dave Filoni telling you?
It's also one timeline. I agree. Yeah. But you're not time traveling when you're in there. You're just stopped. Mm-hmm.
They're not going to tell that story in Ahsoka because no one's going to fucking understand it.
So they'll go back and watch it, or they're going to do it in a way that
they're not.
They got to explain why she's Ahsoka the White. So how do you explain Ahsoka the White without?
Well, we won't explain it. She's not Ahsoka the White. Did you see Ahsoka the White in Mandalorian?
The only way
because we're not there yet, bro.
The only way I could see like the whole.
She hasn't even gone to like the unknown regions yet after Ezra. Like,
well, I mean, the only reason I could see the Ahsoka White bit is Morai. Like, Morai is that connection because, of course, the daughter transferred her essence inside Ahsoka. But that doesn't mean we have to go to the World Between Worlds. The World Between Worlds is just an area which was created by the Mortis gods, as we believe. So we won't see that. And also, isn't in Taika Waititi's movie, we see the pyramid from Clone Wars in the concept art, which is Mortis.
There's so many hints. There's so many reasons.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no reason why it needs to happen.
Her poster has the destroyed Lothal temples thing on from the ceiling.
Why does it have it? Because that's the reason why Ahsoka is still with us. It doesn't mean she's going to somehow continue to channel the World Between Worlds.
Yeah, but isn't that writing also in Jedi Fallen Order? Is the meditation pads have the same logo design where you meditate? It's just a Jedi symbol of like writing as such. It's not like everyone thinks it's World Between Worlds because it's something we can't read. Yeah, it's exact same.
It's the exact same from the temple.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
I haven't watched.
Don't tell me to do my fucking homework.
You fucking nerd.
I just want to quickly go back. I know we jumped to Ahsoka and stuff, but with like Rogue One, I brought this comment up in the section. Is the issue with people have with Rogue One is character development. That was the biggest flaw of it. Like people said, I couldn't get we don't know much about these characters. They went off and died basically, and we couldn't get invested. Where the Andor show will make you invested in Cassian and K2, so you feel like you know their journey. So when you watch Rogue One, you would have that emotional attachment. So that's what they saw with Andor. Is like we need to make if that's the best Star Wars movie we've got to see what the flaws of that one is and try and fix those flaws.
So whose character in Andor did we need more character development on to understand the story? I mean, Rogue One.
No. It wasn't the story. That is the critique. If you look at critique of Rogue One, Paul Gullet.
Poor Gullet.
Yeah.
I need an anthology origin story for the Book of Boba, or I'm canceling Disney Plus.
The problem, in my opinion, the problem with Rogue One is nobody likes to acknowledge. Not nobody. A lot of people don't like to acknowledge that Rogue One is a good Star Wars property because it's Disney. And if they do, then all of a sudden they're a shill and they like Disney Star Wars. And all these other things. Matt, I'm like, it's good Star Wars.
Matt, it's my
Fuck
second.
you.
That's my
we
new
need to
thing.
clip that.
Clip it. Clip that shit.
I put that over. Like I have Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, and then Empire Strikes Back.
I like Rogue One better than Return of the Jedi. Rogue One is a better Star Wars movie than Return of the Jedi.
I will send you to Jesus.
I'm sorry. Hot take.
But what?
I mean, we had a good panel going. Everything was going fine. And
But the thing is, with
I don't like being up there.
100%. Return of the Jedi has a great beginning. It has a great end. The middle sucks.
Fair enough.
Right.
But what I like about Rogue One though is that it connects Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope together with that grittiness and the darkness of Revenge of the Sith into the light hope of A New Hope. So it bridges that gap quite nicely. That's why I like Rogue One.
It's funny because I see the reactions. I see the reactions in the chat, right? And when I say those, and I mean it, by the way, I'm not being controversial. I really mean it, right? And when folks, and I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater, by the way. I am that old. I saw Return of the Jedi.
See, Clone Wars was my first Star Wars movie, so in the cinema.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you a serious question though, Rizman. I gotta ask a serious question though. Porgs or Ewoks?
I like the Porgs better.
You must contradict yourself.
But I just have to say, when it comes to Rogue One, for me, I think Rogue One is more like A New Hope than Return of the Jedi was. Because I think with Return of the Jedi, they kind of lost their way. And I'm not diminishing the whole. I'm not at all diminishing the whole Anakin redemption and Vader and all that. I'm not. I understand the importance of Return of the Jedi. Please, X-Wing, don't ever not invite me back on stream. I'm just saying, if you think about it logically, Rogue One, to me, is more in the story than a lot of the aspects of Return of the Jedi.
I really liked Rogue One too.
But you can't, Hawks. You can't because it's Disney. If you like it, if you like that they did that, you're not a Star Wars fan.
I only liked it because Vader was in it.
Well, exactly. Then you're you're just a shill. But no, I don't. I know. Everyone's like, you're dead to me. I hate you.
It'll pass.
And
Just talk about something else.
Please don't misunderstand me. It's not that I hate Return of the Jedi. Of course, I love Return of the Jedi. I'm just saying, for me,
Rogue One took
I've rewatched Rogue One many more times than I've watched Return of the Jedi. That's all I'm saying.
it's good storytelling, the OT, but like cinematically, the stuff they're doing now is just like,
Well, I mean, the battle on
just different.
Scarif, like for that, you never would have expected seeing that. Like people talk about the Battle of Hoth, and when I watch the Battle of Hoth, I'm not like blown away. Where if I watch the Battle of Scarif, I'm like, oh, that's more heartfelt, wrenched, because you actually were on with the foot soldiers. Where in Battle of Hoth, all you see is the trench line.
What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here? I just want to remind everybody that this is a Star Wars channel where we appreciate good Star Wars, and this doesn't necessarily reflect, X-Wing copyright TR 2021 February.
Guys,
Respect.
guys,
Chan.
again, there's nothing wrong. This is the whole thing. It's like, oh my god,
You like
he's
Disney Star Wars?
disrespecting Return of the Jedi. I'm not. I love Return of the Jedi. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying, when I think about my ranking of Star Wars movies and what Star Wars means to me, and the tropes and the things about it, I think Rogue One hits on more of those things than Return of the Jedi. Like, yes, Anakin needed to be redeemed.
You know what was great? Tatooine Rhapsody. Why don't we talk about that? I just feel like it hit so much better than Empire Strikes Back. You know what I mean?
That's not fucking fair.
It's so good. You know what I mean? They just captured it so much better.
I mean, I don't like A New Hope.
You all. The problem with Return of the Jedi is everyone thinks about Return of the Jedi.
New topic.
As I get it. I'll leave it in a second. But everyone is like, Return of the Jedi, Anakin's redemption. 100% agree. It needed to happen. But that was such a small part of what we experienced in Return of the Jedi. I mean, go back and watch it again. It's not a great movie. All right, next topic.
Yo, so if you want to get back into something I don't.
I'm sorry. Sorry. X-Wing.
Let's talk
please
about
have me back again.
No,
please have me
you
back
won't go
again.
there. Let's talk about it.
It's not a good movie.
It's
not the movie George wanted to make. Nick knows.
No, let's
Nick
talk
knows
about it.
what I'm talking about. It's not the movie.
You fucking nerd.
Let's go. Return of the Jedi ain't a good Star Wars.
I don't think the original Star Wars is a good Star Wars movie, in my opinion. I find it boring.
This is gonna be my last stream on this channel ever. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Return of the Jedi it's just the first little bit and the last little bit and the middle bit. Those are great. The middle bit is not that good.
Hey, Risman, you remember when I told you I love you?
I lied.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be disagreeable. I really don't.
I think the only good thing about the Ewoks, though, is Battlefront 2 with the midnight hunt when you go around just killing stormtroopers, because you find out they're just like wild teddy bears. Where in the film they're cute and cuddly and that's it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, are you guys happy right now? Do you feel good?
I wasn't trying to make you feel bad.
No. Let's talk about it. You feel good right now?
Where's Scotty at? Why is Scotty not here?
He ran the fuck away. As soon as he saw me heated up, he's like, fuck, I don't want to deal with the next one. He's like, this shit. Who the fuck are you to come and tell me that Return of the Jedi ain't a fucking good Star Wars movie?
It's not one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And you know why? Because I'm older than you, and I can
Let me
say
ask you
that.
this. Let me ask you this. You can say that. Like, if you were there, it's completely different than if I watched it when I was young. It's different because you saw it in a fucking movie theater. Let me
Exactly.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What sequel trilogy movie would you put in front of Return of the Jedi?
None. I never said that. I
Yeah,
just
no,
said
yeah. All right,
I
yeah.
prefer.
Now you're playing smart.
I just said, for me, Rogue One is a better original trilogy movie than Return of the Jedi. That's what I said. And you can cancel me for it if you want. That's fine.
The Fury of a Jedi, the redemption of Vader, is
That was the only. That was the
lesser
only.
than the fucking Rogue One.
That was the only good part of Return of the Jedi for me.
You're hurting me.
I'm sorry. I don't.
You're
mean
hurting
to.
my body, my whole core right now. Nick is just like, I don't even know what the fuck to do.
No, Scotty agrees with me. Scotty agrees with me. I know he does.
I mean, I'm just letting you two fight it out because I'm a prequel fan. I'm not a full original trilogy.
Look, I'm a prequel baby too, but I mean, come on, it's the fucking original trilogy. You know what I mean?
But honestly,
Just because it's the original trilogy doesn't automatically mean it's the best Star Wars we're ever gonna
Why
get.
are you putting automatically on it?
Because that's what I hear. I hear, well, it's the original trilogy, so how could you say that Rogue One is better than Return of the Jedi? Why not?
Because you're wrong.
I agree with that. Why not? I do agree with that though.
Let's get
people-
George Lucas in here. Maybe George Lucas likes Rogue One better than Return of the Jedi. George Lucas wasn't 100% happy with Return of the Jedi. Wasn't 100%
The Last
happy
Jedi
with
is my
Empire
favorite
either.
sequel. Ah.
All I'm saying is we have this in our mind.
I'm just letting everybody know right now that Hawks was the diversity hire. Okay, so just remember that you know.
That's why I cut my hair like this.
All I'm
Actually,
saying is we automatically have in our mind that because it was the
it's the only way I could get on the show.
That because it was the OT, it's the best thing ever. Why is that true?
It's a continuation of the original story. That's why.
Rogue One was a prequel to A New Hope. Why
Yeah, it was a
does that
prequel.
not? So why does that?
So, Nick,
I
what's
don't
going on?
understand why can that not be good?
You might have been
Oh
voted
my
off.
God.
You might have
What
been
did I
voted off
miss?
the
What
fucking
did I
island
miss?
here.
I mean, for me, like when I was growing up, I didn't like I couldn't watch A New Hope. I couldn't watch the original trilogy. I was like, Revenge of the Sith is my Star Wars, and I can't move away from that. That was it. I gridlocked myself in. And I was like, I don't like stormtroopers. I don't like rebels. I like clones and droids. That is my era. I'm staying here. I
Yeah.
never brought Lego sets from the original trilogy. I focused it all on prequel and Clone Wars stuff.
Well, you don't like the sequel stuff?
No, but this was before the sequels were coming out. I was only stuck in the prequel era. I hated going.
You know
out
who
the prequel
loves
era.
sequel stuff? Risman. Risman is
Risman.
like, dude, you know what's better than Return of the Jedi? The Last Jedi.
I can see Star Killer Base. Just
Do you
Resistance.
see any? Do you see any?
Just get ready for work. You see me happy, work. You see me do me dirt. And so we put in work.
Why don't we think your technique?
Nah.
That's actually Risman's favorite scene.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm canceled for not believing that just because it's a part of the original trilogy that it's always going to trump anything else that comes along. I think Rogue One is a better Star Wars movie than Return of the Jedi. Cancel me.
I think Rogue One is better than. No, I can't say it. Nope. It's like sticking my tongue next to an oven. I'm like,
Because you are conditioned to not like anything that's Disney Star Wars.
No, I love Rogue One. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies out there.
It's a better movie than Return of the Jedi.
Wrong.
I mean, even Clone Wars Season 7 is technically Disney.
The
They
good
can't
news
argue
is
that.
when we meet in Nashville, we'll be able to fist fight over this. So
I'll
I'm
punch you in
excited
your
for that.
face. I'll
I know,
punch you in
I
that
know.
big old nose of yours.
Look, I'm very excited for that. And look, I've saved it for you. I haven't messed it up at all. It's still there.
And I mean,
for you.
again, everyone's like they're pissing on me, and okay, I get it. I'm just giving you my
It's all
opinion. I love to see Return of the Jedi in the theater, and I absolutely 100% love the redemption of Anakin Skywalker. Oh, of course I do. But when you look at it side by side, movie to movie, Rogue One is a better movie than Return of the Jedi by far.
Okay,
Soup to
so
nuts.
the only thing I could say is
Nuclear.
it would be like apples and
Respect.
oranges, right? Two completely different things, I would say. Because for me, Rogue One is useless mostly up until like the last 30% of the movie. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
Return of the Jedi for me, it keeps me on. Keeps me on the whole movie. Keeps me on.
I think Return of the Jedi is more useless.
We're getting
longer
callbacks to
than-
Yoda. I mean, come on.
Cameos and callbacks.
Yoda's a cameo in Return of the Jedi. Go
Yo.
fuck your own life. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, he is a cameo. He only turns up and then disappears. Like-
So,
Count the
okay,
seconds. Count the
fucking
seconds, Rizman.
Watch
Agree
this.
on it.
Wait,
I'm doing
watch
homework
this.
tonight.
Wait, watch this. I think Yoda's appearance in The Last Jedi is much more impactful than his appearance was in Return of the Jedi.
The- the-
100%.
The only reason.
Who the fuck am I?
100%.
Where
Who the
am
fuck am I?
I?
Do you know where?
100%.
Where am I? Right
Do you know
now?
why they actually put?
If you
Invite
want to
this
pull
man
this
back.
Yoda thing out,
Invite this man
Yoda
back.
showed up in Return of the Jedi to die,
No, yeah, but
right?
Matt,
Yoda showed up in Last Jedi to for a point.
Yeah, but Matt, the only reason we have Yoda in Return of the
Thank
Jedi.
you. What the fuck is going on here?
The only reason.
I feel like I'm in fucking. I feel like I'm in La La Land. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
The only reason George wrote
Good.
Yoda
Get the
into
dude. Run fucking far away from whatever the fuck is going on with these three people that I'm talking to right now.
I have said minimal.
Hey, come
I have
on
said
now.
minimal today.
Come on now.
the only reason George put Yoda in Return of the Jedi was for
I'm
kids
hurt.
to confirm that Luke is Vader's son. That was the only
put-
reason he's in there because
he
kids
put-
couldn't handle.
He
that
put him in there to
Empire.
die. He put him in there to die. Yoda. Well, oh, okay. Return of the Jedi again. Oh, we had Yoda. Oh my God, what a great movie.
Oh boy.
Yoda had a much more impactful reason to be in The Last Jedi than he ever did in Return of the Jedi. 100%.
Ooh.
Actually, let's get burst into tears.
I'm not saying I like The Last Jedi as a movie. I'm just saying from a story perspective, get your facts in order.
we should take the scenes
Everyone's
out.
like, what is going
Pull the
on?
scenes
Like,
out.
what stream are we in?
Side by side.
I literally don't. I mean, like, look, I at least try to be positive about shit, but at this point, fuck. I feel like this is a spy stream. This is what Boba Fett was talking about. I'm in a spy stream right now. There is absolutely
Pull the lizard out of your nose, bro.
there is absolutely
It's done.
no fucking scenario where look, and if there's one thing I had to pick out of the sequel trilogy, Yoda showing up and being like, "Ooh, failure." You're like, okay, great, good. You got one good scene out of fucking 9 hours of filmmaking. There is no way that's more impactful than Grand Master fucking Yoda dying with the last Jedi that's left, Luke Skywalker in his hut on fucking Dagobah, completing his fucking mission as the Grand Master of the Jedi. You're not gonna change my mind.
You don't. So his no more training. You. Oh my God, I'm dead. And then he comes back later to say, "Hey, I told you.
I'm dead.
I told you so." Listen to, you'd never learn what I told you, right? You saw me in my hut. I died hoping, and here we are again having the same conversation, right? How do we think it was more impactful on the story in what happened in Return of the Jedi and what happened in The Last Jedi?
Chat is just like, so how about that dark saber?
Again, I'm just saying. Luke never
They're asking
learned.
about Holdo. We're in trouble.
Luke Skywalker never learned, right? Whether you like the fact that
My
he ended up
girlfriend.
on the island, or whether you like the fact that I don't care about all that. But when it comes right down to it, he never fucking learned what Yoda was teaching him.
What an idiot!
Bro, and then real talk, that's everybody's hang up.
And
That's
in
that's
the
a big
Last
hang up for a lot of
Jedi,
people.
he came back to call Luke out on it, and you still feel like it was better somehow in Return of the Jedi. That's fucked up.
I mean, he's got a point.
Sorry.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be
on.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know how the fuck this went so bad. I literally bought you a fucking Audi A4 and you just ran it into the wall as hard as you could. You guys want to do a late night stream? Yeah, fuck it. Be like, by the way, The Last Jedi's better than fucking Return of the Jedi.
I never said that.
What the fuck?
I never said that. I said, for the record, I prefer Rogue One as a Star Wars movie.
Wanted to talk about how shitty the Star Wars
as
hotel was.
Return
You
of
guys
the
are just
Jedi.
like, by the
And
way.
now,
He did.
now
That was
all
on
of
the
a sudden-
list. We never got there.
No. Now all of a sudden we're on Yoda in Return of the Jedi versus Yoda in The Last Jedi, and I'm like, Yoda was much more impactful in The Last Jedi.
I just
he
pray to
was in
God
Return of
Jay
the Jedi.
left before fucking heard some of that sacrilege.
Guys, I don't like The Last Jedi as a movie. All I'm saying is that
Nobody does.
scene.
No, don't
Except
get
for
that
Meg.
confused. That's me.
Well, Hawks does. But all
I
I'm
mean,
Me,
saying is-
Meg, Darth Chaco. It's a
for
short
me,
list.
for me, that scene between Yoda and Luke at the tree with the text and all that is great Star Wars.
Fuck.
Jay and Drunk 3PO, I'm sorry, please don't cancel me. This is my opinion.
I mean, at
From
least
a
Matt
Star
hasn't
Wars
said Rise of
perspective.
Skywalker now.
That's all I'm saying, right? I don't like The Last Jedi. I don't like the sequel trilogy. I'm saying that scene between Yoda and Luke is a great scene.
Did
It's
you
a
like the
great
scene
Star Wars
between
scene.
Kylo and Rey too? Did you see
Which
the
one?
extended cut?
Please don't go this way.
I can show you the world.
That was one of my favorites. Just talking about how we can show her the Force and stuff like that.
It's a deleted scene.
Yeah, it was a really good scene.
Do your homework.
Yeah. Read
Well,
the comics, Matt.
Well, thank you for having me on the last stream I'll ever be on. I appreciate it
Oh,
so much.
don't cry, Matt. You're not.
I'm not going to
Enjoy.
cry.
You
I'm
know
never
you're not going anywhere.
I'm never going to cry because this is my truth, right? I'm not.
You didn't
telling
just say my truth.
Yeah, I did. I'm never going to say anyone else needs to believe the same way I do, right?
Yeah.
That's just what I believe.
Look, no, it's an interesting take. I'm glad to hear it. I firmly disagree, 100%. Return of the Jedi is always going to be better than. Look,
It's not a good movie. It's
Yeah.
not a good movie.
okay.
I mean, a lot of people
Okay,
hated it
Matt.
when it came out.
I was thinking about meeting up with you in Nashville, and I'm like, fuck it. We'll find somebody else to hang out with. I'm just kidding. Benjamin Martindale with a extremely generous $10 donation says, "Go get a drink on me. Looks like you need it."
Thank you.
At least we got rid of one more youngling. I just.
Did we wait? What about the
Shouts out,
Starcruiser? We never talked about the Starcruiser.
Oh yeah,
we
let's
can
end it
talk
on a
about
high
man.
note. Yeah, yeah.
We can
let's
talk
end
about
on
it.
a high
Speaking of drunk, I was just on his live stream. He's not going to cancel you. Don't worry. Matt,
No, I
you'll be
love
okay.
Jay. I watch him on Park Cop. And, on the
At
Memphis,
least somebody's
so-
got my back here. Jesus, thank you, Leia. It was kind of interesting. So, I super chatted Jay. I was talking about what happened with Leia and Han. And look, the expanded universe, you're going to be able to pull things that you want from it, cherry pick it, make it look good and stuff like that. Like I said, the whole The whole there's no source material thing was just, it was weaponized big time. And I do it all the time. But what happened with Han and Leia in the expanded universe, basically Han, it's this wonderful book called The Courtship of Princess Leia. So this species comes in, the Hapians, right? And they basically come to the New Republic after the war is over, and they say, hey, check out all this stuff. They're dumping fucking gems on the ground. They give them a gun that can change people's point of view, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. They give them a gun like that. They're like, check out all these gunships. Awesome. And they say, basically, look, here's my super handsome prince. You got to marry this prince if you want to get an alliance with the Hapi system. And so Leia's trying to figure out, like, damn, I don't really want to marry this guy. Han, the entire time, who has like no pull in the New Republic, is just like, you're not going to steal my girl. You know what I mean? You're not going to steal my girl. So he's a total piece of shit, winds up stealing the gun that can change people's minds, shoots Leia in the face with it, kidnaps her, wins the planet Dathomir in a game of Sabacc, kidnaps her and takes her to Dathomir and is like, look what I found for you. But when he gets there, they shoot the whole operation to shit. They crash land on the ground. There's Night Sisters everywhere. They're riding Rancors
already.
Yeah, it's like, it's so out of this world ridiculous. And it still makes me happier than what they said with the fucking Starcruiser. They were just like 5 minutes after Endor, they're like, fuck it, let's get married. And then they took a cruise right after Endor.
Of course. Right on that ship,
space
of course.
Yeah,
Dude, they
why
put
not?
Padme and Anakin on there, and then they haven't even waited 2 months to put everybody on it. It's like,
apparently
Jesus.
Asajj Ventress
2
was
months
on there too.
Yes, dude. And it's like, oh, none of that was announced when it originally came out. That would all been cool to know. But they saved that.
Because you couldn't create a good original story. Now you have to dip back to people who actually could write stories and try to steal their stories to make your
downright
shit look good.
obvious. Like, they're not even trying to hide the shit. It's like,
it's very irritating.
Yeah. The whole
Risman-
that Han Leia shit on there, I was like, really?
Risman went. Risman left. Oh, I was gonna say Risman left. He's the biggest proponent for the Starcruiser. He loves it.
So I have to say, it's sad for me, right? Because I'm in there. I'm in there.
I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be right back.
I had to go rip the ears off a Gundam, as X would say. But
yes, we just started talking about the
because
Starship
I know. I heard you. Because I'm in there. I'm in the target market for this thing, right? I'm like, there's nothing about it that I find exciting, right? I've been to. I'm in Jacksonville.
You don't do lightsaber training?
So I go to Disney a lot or whatever, and this is just not a good concept, right? This is something that they started about the same time as they started Batu and all the rest of it, that they continued on a path with, and now again they're trying to fill in the blanks and trying to make it relevant. It just doesn't sound interesting, at least not to me, right? And they've been surveying folks, and they're like, well, why are you coming to this? You're gonna be immersed in it. You're gonna cosplay. What's your reason for being here, right? And I think a lot of the folks here in the outset are like, I don't know, I just want to see what this is all about, right? I got the money to spend, see what it's all about and all that. I don't think this is not an experience that was designed for Star Wars fans, in my opinion. Right? This is it's just a weird concept.
It feels like a new brand. It felt like when I watched the video, it felt like a different alien universe, a story they're making up that's part of Disney. But
did you guys not see the design on the bridge though? It looked like a effed up 1983 version of what like a fanfic of Star Trek might look like. It looked nothing. It looked nothing like Star Wars.
Yeah, it was off-brand.
There's a very, very, very specific aesthetic that comes along with Star Wars, and like people can sniff it out in a fucking heartbeat and be like, that does not look like that. And then to have the gall to tell somebody, by the way, if you want to see this kind of off-brand Star Trek, you got to pay $5,000 to be able to even look at it. The saber training is the most I'm the most angry about the saber training because I was like, dude, check out this cool. They're gonna have a lightsaber training course, and it's like a laser in a wall. You couldn't even do like 3D fog and have a fake, like, nothing. You have all this money. You're charging people all this money, and you couldn't even get like an ass hair close to what Star Wars feels like.
Yeah, but like Bob Chapek is someone who's like a cheapskate anyway with the parks. He's always been someone who cuts back on money, and he doesn't want to put money into it. He just wants to do it as cheap as possible to make as much profit as possible. That's the thing what Chapek does. That's why he's not in the great.
I've seen better escape rooms. I've seen better escape rooms in the mall. I'm just saying.
So for me, the thing about it is, I'm also a big Star Trek fan, right? And I have been, well, it's no longer now, but I was at the Star Trek experience in Vegas at the Vegas Hilton, right, where you stood in line and you were immersed in a Star Trek experience. And at that time, they had sort of upfitted it. It was the Borg, Star Trek Next Generation, the Borg, or whatever. You were in a queue, and you went and you were, on the bridge of the Enterprise, and the Borg came to get you, and you were transported and all that. It was wonderful, right? It was designed by Star Trek fans. Right, Robert Meyer Burnett was one of the folks that did all the
really
intro and all that. Oh yeah, he
That's
did all
awesome.
the intro to that. It was amazing, right? It didn't cost $5,000, by the way, to go through it, right? They spit you out. You're at Quark's bar or whatever. You can have a drink and you go buy your paraphernalia and all that kind of stuff. And that was a wonderfully immersive experience, right? That to me, I would still rate much higher than what I ever experienced at Galaxy's Edge, and what I would imagine is going to be the experience on this Starcruiser.
Yeah.
And I have to say, for both of those things, I do blame Bob Cheapskate.
God, you love Bob Chapek so much.
It was.
I'm not sure I understand.
It was Bob Iger had a vision.
Me either.
Bob Iger had a vision for Galaxy's Edge and all the rest of it. That was, again, it wasn't what we would have preferred, but it was still better than what Bob Paycheck ultimately gave us.
Bob Paycheck.
And even like these stories,
these like Paycheck, there's only one or two.
These comics that are coming out, or whatever they're calling them, the Padme Anakin one, was that a honeymoon too, or was that just like
no? They were hidden away for a reason. That's the Halcyon one.
So like
they
the
were
whole
hidden away for a
thing.
reason, and then Assad showed up, and then Anakin, got her off or whatever.
Are people honeymooning at this place? Like,
yeah,
I'm
Han
not
and
going,
Leia.
But
Han and Leia are.
But are they pitching it to consumers like come honeymoon here? Because there's gonna be kids everywhere. Like no one's gonna go honeymoon on this.
No,
they're
not.
No. It's like it's just a
the whole Han and Leia thing is just an additional draw for why.
Yep. Now they got the OT.
We
now they
put
got the prequels.
Yeah, we put the prequels folks on there. Now we can put the OT folks on there. Let's keep filling in this lore.
Oh boy.
Right.
Another thing I find weird about the hotel though is you're paying 10 grand just to be in a warehouse with no windows, except just TV, surrounded by TV screens, boxed up, and you get told when you can come out, when to do activities, when you can go here for 2 days. It doesn't sound fun. Like if you're a Star Wars fan, you want to go and explore, do what you want to do. Oh, is there a space for lightsaber training? I'll go when I want to go. Like you can book it, but don't like give me a planned itinerary while I'm there. Like I'm paying 10 grand to go here. I mean, for me, it would cost me a lot more because I have to get flights over to Florida, and going for 2 days to Florida for me is eight hours of traveling there and 8 hours traveling back. It ain't fun, and it's not worth it for me. And I don't want to come all the way there just to go to Galaxy's Edge and just stay in the tin hut.
Be stuck in a cube.
Yeah, just that's it.
Well, the stuff that was upsetting to me is, and this is something I saw on 3PO's stream, like just why I got fired up about it today, was that you do have these YouTubers who are, they're obviously big into the theme park scene, right? And they were saying, essentially, sorry if you can't afford it, like stop grifting if you can't afford it, and then, we're not going to make a negative review, but look at these thumbnails of people who make negative reviews, and it was a lot of people who I'm friends with in the community, or certainly people that I watch in the Star Wars community, and it's like these people are just shitting on YouTubers for saying, look, this is a problem. $6,000, you know, whatever. If it's not 6,000, call it 2,000 for a weekend. Can I afford that? Fuck no. I was trying to get down to Nashville for a weekend for an ICC collectors convention, and I needed help. You know what I mean? Not to mention going down to a Disney park, spending the amount of money that you have to spend to stay there, and then what do you have on top of that? Drinks, food, everything else that
it's not all. That's exactly right. It's not all inclusive, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's like a regular cruise is, which is you get your lodging, you get your basic food, but if you want to do any excursions, you want to have any booze or any of the rest of it, it costs more and more and more and more and more. And I'm like, it's unjustifiable. I would personally, for me, when I go to Hollywood studios, I love to ride Star Tours. I like to ride the original, right? If I never walk into Galaxy's Edge or whatever, that's okay, because I know I can go on Star Tours and I can do my thing and I can leave. Talking about $5,000 for this other thing? Gracious sakes. Not for me.
Isn't it you only get 2 hours in the park as such on that trip? It's like you go in for 2 hours, you only get Galaxy's Edge, you can't go anywhere else except Galaxy's Edge to stay in that immersion. And there's only 2 rides at Galaxy's Edge. And then the rest is just merchandise and food places. So technically you've got to spend more while you're in those 2 hours just to enjoy yourself. And it's a huge cost, and people can't afford it. That's the thing. I think it's so much.
Some people can afford it apparently, because
not everyone's a YouTuber, influencer, or a high earner. I mean, people are struggling.
And that was my other thought. A lot of people were saying, you know, oh, it only costs this much. And I said, well, it's nice if you can get a discount from Disney to promote this. You know what I mean? I have a very hard time believing even some of the most profitable YouTubers out there. You know, I don't know how much like people on YouTube make, but I mean, even a very successful channel dropping $4,000, you know, or $2.5 grand on a weekend is still, that's a lot of money, dude. That's a lot of money. And so you have to wonder, were they given some kind of a stipend, or they're like, hey, you can come stay here, just make it sound like it's not that expensive and then prove to us how awesome it is. And I feel like when this thing opens and we start getting the reviews, we're going to get a bunch of YouTubers acting like the kid that was on that reveal intro that's like, oh my God, look over here. Oh my God, look at this. Check this out. Wow, this saber training. This saber training is so amazing. Wow, look at this saber training. You know what I mean?
It's not.
Gotta talk to the Last Jedi guy for a second.
There he is.
What up, Jay? How you doing,
man,
brother?
You caught me at a good time.
How's your pre-order going? Have you given you anything for getting on the Starcruiser yet? Have you gotten any extra pamphlets or anything? Or what?
Yeah, well, they just added like Twilight dancing as one of the activities.
No more Twi'leks. Here we go with the fucking Twi'leks. No more.
When dad wants to go get drunk at the bar, you send your daughter to Twilight dancing.
It's true. They threw me. Somebody put me in like this private group where people are sharing like everything that are going, and it's like I haven't said a word like I'm there. I don't know who put me in, but I think it's someone that like enjoys the videos, and they like just want me to see like some of the craziness of these people. Like the biggest debate in this Facebook group, I'm never on Facebook, but this Facebook group, is that they're all upset that Disney just got rid of the mask mandates. So
that's going on in Nevada too right now. People are like flipping out.
Like, we need to still wear our masks, everybody. Like,
so then wear your mask.
Wear them.
I know. It's exactly. It's just like, why are they crying? It's just like,
I'm in New York, and they're starting to become more lenient. So it's like, if New York is starting to become more lenient,
in the UK,
these are the people that they cater to. Like, this is who they cater to. So, like people that it's like a lot of Karens. And normally I don't call out other YouTubers on my live stream. I just couldn't. I had to do it today. Like
What was that guy's name? It's a dude and the chick. I've watched them a couple times. Because,
Ordinary Adventures.
Yeah, I've
That's
watched
Peter
them a couple
Soretta.
times.
Peter Soretta has hated me for like 3 years now. Called me out multiple times on his channel. Made fun of my channel multiple times. So I had no problem doing that.
Jay, you're easy to make fun of, bro.
I have no problem calling that. The other guy,
of.
Dan, like, I mean, he's all right, but it's almost like it's like these people have made a financial commitment and they're trying to trick themselves to not believe the negativity.
Well, dude, when you spend that kind of money,
they don't want to be
that kind of money. You have to like justify your own purchase in your brain.
Well, it's just like, because I'm sure like we're all saying the same thing. It's like way too freaking expensive. It's so freaking expensive. And then he's like, his complaint is, well, you saw the clip. He's like, stop crying that it's too expensive. Give me something better. Why you don't like it? And it's like, really? Like, shut up, poor people. I don't want your opinion.
Oh, you're a poor?
Shut up, poor people. I don't want
for that money, you can take a 14 back-to-back cruise.
Oh man, there's a lot you can do.
It's crazy, man.
There's a lot you can do. So they had a live stream and somebody sent it to me and they go, Jay, I think they're going to talk about you on this live stream. I was like, oh, here we go. So I put it on and it was the two YouTubers that I showed. They were together and they were so happy with that commercial because they're like, we finally get to see it with the lights. The lights make it look better. They literally said that without the lights on, it looks like they were like, it looks like a high school lunchroom without the lights, but the lights make it Star Wars. And I'm sitting there like, that's all you guys got is lights? Like, you can't say anything positive, but the lights are on. Now it looks good. Now it looks worthy of your money, you know? And it's like, they always start out their videos. They're like, well, I'm invested like $2,300 in this thing, so I'm gonna go and we're gonna have fun. It's like, that's all they have, great, man.
Dude, you shouldn't have to force yourself to have fun if you're spending, I mean, ungodly amounts of money.
That's just how it is. It's just they don't want to be embarrassed. So like that's the that's where they're at. They don't want to be embarrassed. They're gonna say it's amazing. They're gonna say it's the greatest thing. And again, I think my biggest out of all of it, my biggest gripe is they are trying to make the ship relevant by adding all these people. And it's like,
girl, don't get me started.
You never had but see, I saw that and I was trying to warn people. I saw that when they opened Galaxy's Edge. They were like, because people were like, what is that? What's Batu? And they're like, look, Han Solo was there. Here's a comic book. Look, Chewbacca did stuff there. Here's a comic book.
Yeah,
oh my God, Rey did a secret mission there. Here's a book.
That was part of the EU, though. I mean, so that was part of a thing that happened. You know, before Batu opened, Anakin and Thrawn met there in some of the novels. But I still think that was like,
that was,
bro, that's such a weak.
That's such a rewrite. You know, that's a rewrite. Don't you know that?
Thrawn Alliances?
They rewrote the Thrawn trilogy. They rewrote the Thrawn trilogy to add Batu in it.
Well, this was a different book. So they put the 3 books out. There was the first 3 Thrawn books, and then there was another 3 Thrawn books. There was another new trilogy that they made.
Yeah,
but then they came out with the book Alliances.
They added a lot of Batu in it, and like that's what they're doing. They're like rewriting the stuff that we know, and they're adding this stuff to make it relevant. The problem is, and I'm at Galaxy's Edge once every other week for Park Hopping Channel. Everyone is there. Like I could literally hear people, where's baby Yoda? Like that is what all the kids want to see. That's where they want to be. That's what they want. They don't want anything else. Every now and then I'll give it. There's like little kids dressed up as Rey, and that's cute and all, and I'm happy for that. You know, like, okay, that's cool. Like you always want the kids happy no matter what.
I'm not gonna shit on that, dude.
Yeah, I would never do that either. Like, that's cool. But the majority of people are like, where's Mando? Where's Baby Yoda? And so I'm telling you, Baby Yoda's gonna survive all this Jedi stuff because he's gonna be on the Halcyon. because my guy that's been working on it this whole time, who's told me the spoilers, who showed me the pictures, who gave me everything that I was dumping early, said that they're setting up for Baby Yoda to be on that ship.
So do you think they'll put Batu into Mando season 3?
I thought they would have done that season 1, but I don't know. You know what I think happened, and you guys can correct me. I think Mandalorian was a side project that exploded. Like it just seemed like, dude. It just seemed like they were like, oh yeah, by the way, we have all these trilogies. Kathleen's like, we got a movie, and the Mando, yeah, it's a TV show, no big deal.
Yep.
And then
dude,
it was
Jay,
like,
I remember hearing about it and being like, oh, the Mandalorian. Like, okay, all right, we're going to get like some bounty hunter. Yeah, all right, whatever.
No big deal.
And then, and then it came out and I'm like, oh, shit.
And then
once it's actually pretty okay.
Well, you saw that when Baby Yoda was Grogu, whatever. You know, when he was introduced, I know they shot themselves in the foot because they had no products for Christmas. And they probably would have made a gazillion dollars.
Yeah, they saved it because they didn't want to ruin the surprise, right?
They're full of crap. The whole sequel trilogy script was leaked like months before the movies came out. Are you telling me they were able to keep a small TV show under wraps? They just didn't think it was anything. So now that it exploded, you see we have the Marvel blueprint. So it's like Mando's Iron Man, and now you got the Ahsoka. You got everything coming out from Mandalorian, just like in Marvel. Oh, look at that!
I have to call this guy out real quick because he's my actual like real in real life best friend, who's like never on YouTube and he's never actually on the internet. I love this guy. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, Jay, did you get us press passes? Are we going on the Halcyon together or?
The only way I was able to go, if I were to go, is somebody really wants to pay my way to go.
I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, it's not you. But the problem was, they're not gonna let me record on it.
What?
So here's the thing,
bro. That sounds sketchy.
Here's the thing: if I were able to go the opening weekend and record, I would make the money back on YouTube. I guarantee it, because the views would be ridiculous. Or even live stream, like from the room.
Yeah.
The super chats, it would be huge. But yeah, there's a big they're letting the YouTubers go in early. Like I think this weekend actually, they're allowed to record. They're allowed to take the right photos, but when you're on, there's certain areas you can't record or take pictures, but you could pay for pictures when they take them. So that's an added cost.
That sounds about right.
Now, now the thing is, like, things are like they ran a test group, and they've already changed some things. My friend again, who is knee deep in that, they did a Make-A-Wish week.
What do you mean knee deep though? Like, are they like Disney insiders or?
They're staff.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're staff, and so they had the Make-A-Wish kids come through, poor kids, and then they did those, and then they did a couple test groups, and then they started to change it. They started changing the wording, because people were confused.
The wording of what?
So you get a special magic band when you're there,
right?
And they called it a data band, and people were confused. There's like a Pokemon Go game to find porgs on the ship, and they changed it because no one could figure out how to do it with the app. So now they have a cast member that you can meet, and he could show you how to play this game while you're walking around the ship with your phone. The thing is, like, the phone is like, you have to have the app going or you're gonna miss out on like everything, because the app will tell you your lightsaber training is now, like, you get an alert, like everything. So everything is like running through your phone.
Did they schedule your whole day out?
They schedule everything,
to the minute.
Yeah. That's why you look at the time periods and you're just like, they give you like 15 minutes for this, and you're like, how is that possible? You know,
It's like summer
how
camp.
How is that possible? You've been to places, 15 minutes, man. I'm looking for a seat, then I'm done. 15 minutes in.
It's like worse than a regular cruise, right? Regular cruise, at least let you.
They'll let you wander.
Yeah.
I'm sure like the big screens are gonna be beautiful and all that stuff, and yeah, well, that was pleasant.
I don't know what's going on with his audio.
Cloud City for fireworks, but again, they could have picked a ship that we all knew. It's just, let's make it relevant by putting.
I'm surprised they didn't do Empire and Rebels. Why did they, instead of doing the sequel stuff? Like, because Mandalorian's focused with the Empire, not the First Order. That's their focus. But again, they just want to sell the sequel trilogy as best as possible.
This thing is selling towards sequel trilogy fandom fans. So
Well, dude,
how
have
long
they
is that gonna
not?
last?
How have they not updated the park to this point? I mean, it'd be so easy to just basically rebrand this whole thing as like Navarro, right? Call it Mando. Have the Baby Yoda in there. Make it easy for people to come in and identify with this shit. I mean, I understand that you have
two clicks, man. They could do it overnight.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, have you seen what people do at Disney overnight when it comes to like a holiday? Bro, they fucking revamped the whole
Like Christmas
bagaboo.
in 20 hours, yeah.
Yeah, dude, they do the whole fucking thing. There's no way that you can tell me that they can't come in and revamp this shit to make it more accessible for fans who are like, at least if they're not like, OG and PT fans, at least they can come in and see stuff that they're excited about for Mando.
I can tell you this, there was a meeting that happened about switching it over to the Mandoverse. Cara Dune was going to be the sheriff of the town. So instead of Rey walking around, it would have been Cara Dune. You see Mando. The ships are already in place.
It would be so easy if Batu was a part of a show or anything where people came and invaded it, or I think it would be so cool if parks integrated what happened in the parks with a movie, like direct events affecting the park.
Bro,
like,
you throw one scene.
Innovative.
You throw one scene that says Cara Dune is now on Batu and she's chilling there, and she's like, "Well, I'm the marshal here now," and then bam, done.
That's it.
Well, come on, Hawk. You should be happy. It's in the High Republic. I mean, Batu and the Halcyon and all that. I mean, that's your jam, man.
It's
Come
the
on.
past.
Why are you pissed off about that?
And Drunk, I know you don't like talking about it, but I mean, I have a big poster right by my front door there. It's you remember the old World War II posters where they got the girl?
Yeah, the Gina one.
Yeah, it's Rosie Riveter Rosie or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
But it's Cara Dune, and it says "We can do it."
Yeah.
She's chilling right there.
She loves that stuff, man. She loves that stuff.
We miss her, man. We miss her. And I hope that she knows that, like, true Star Wars fans all around the world, man, we're pulling for that girl.
So she knows, and like she's gonna try to make some appearances for people to just trying to work some stuff out. To like get to
really
some
cool.
other fans.
That's a busy girl, man. And she just got done with Terror on the Prairie, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be. You guys are gonna love it. If you like,
I'm
Westerns.
excited to watch it. Yeah, dude, Westerns is the shit, man.
Yeah,
dude, I was blown away by it, and I didn't know that Donald Cerrone is in it too from the UFC. Like, ridiculous. I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah,
dude, I was blown away.
Not that I've seen it already, but
sure.
Right.
Man, get out of here.
Jeez. No, have not.
We didn't take a minute to say hello to Obsession, my good friend. How you doing, brother?
Hello.
You're like a measly 20 subs away from getting to that 500 mark, dude.
Whatever.
You gotta get you to that 500 subs so you can give away that Nintendo OLED Switch.
The Hoppa's just sitting there chilling in the background, just on retirement until you guys want to get done playing your games. So whatever, whatever. I got my Switch right here. I'm not worried about it. I'm trying to give back to you guys, but it's okay. Yeah. So no, I mean we're close. We're close. I'm not stressing about it. I'm having a good time.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool. I know, Drunk, I talked to you for a minute, quick second about doing a charity thing, but it is tough when it comes to international lines. and stuff like that.
So it's kind of funny. A lot of people want to send me stuff to send to the kids, but we found over the years of doing this, for like 15 years, it's like it's so much better for the area that we're helping to buy the stuff from them. So it's kind of like, like you're in a poor country and there's a guy selling pencils and pens. So I come from America and I'm like, here's all these free pencils and pens. So now he's like, man,
I'm out of business.
Yeah, it's like I'm out of business. So it's like it's cool to go there and go, how many pencils and pens do you have? I have 200. We'll take them all. Can you get more tomorrow? And they're just like, what? Yeah. I'm like, here you go.
Well,
why couldn't you buy 200,000 pencils and pens and then just give it to the vendor?
It's I don't know how that works.
Some countries like Mexico and Guatemala and other countries the further south you go, but there's some stuff like you can't even bring in certain kinds of tape because if they sell it in country, they won't let you bring it. So if they look at your bag, if you're coming for work purposes or charity purposes and they see certain things in your bag, they'll take them because they don't want you to do just that. They don't.
Oh man, when I'm in Haiti, we would bring stuff in and you're at the mercy of the airport.
Yeah.
They open it up and if they wanted something, they're just like, you can't bring this in the country, and they just put it right in their pocket.
We did
you can't have that, bro.
I mean,
I can
in Mexico and they took all of our tape, all of our black tape, because they sell it in country. So we're sitting there scrounging on setup days, looking for black tape because they took it all at customs because they sell it in the country.
They took all my seashells leaving the Caribbean. So how do you explain that one?
Did they really?
Yeah.
Hey, at least you're
actually they weren't my seashells. I call my fiance Piper because she's like a sandpiper. She goes up and down the beach, just picking up seashells.
Just don't.
I accidentally shoved my bag full of when I was in Caribbean, like Cuban cigars, and came through customs, and I'm like, ooh, nobody said a word.
No,
there were 4 missing though. There was 4 missing, and I was like, man, they probably saw that and went, we got a party.
Yeah,
let the man have his fun.
You know what though? That's a transportation tax at that point.
That's the fun tax. Yes, that's the fun tax. Just don't fill lava rocks when you come back from Hawaii. That's all I'm saying.
Justin has losses in the chat. He sent me a text yesterday. He goes, Jay, turn on Tim Pool, man. They're talking about Gina. I was like, man, I lived through it. Like, what? I don't need to listen to someone talking about Gina, man. Did you not see me on Twitter? I just posted a picture of us on our, video call. Justin.
You have no idea how bad I want to ask you about that shit. I just try to stay respectful because I'm like, dude, that's your life. It's your life.
Hey, X-Wing.
If I put it on Twitter, you could ask.
I think we have a Darth Arlena super chat.
Did I miss one?
You missed just one a little bit ago.
Well, look who it is. Hi, Jay. Moff Rissman, the rest of y'all. Oh, and you, X-Wing. Oh, and me. Huh? Arlena doesn't love me anymore. Now away with those booger-eating younglings. I gotta find it. There it is.
Thank you.
It was a dark time in the Star Wars universe.
The session showed up for slap, and that's good.
We missed
Tough
it.
time.
We missed
Tough
the slap.
But anyway. No, I hope I hope Gina's well. I'm very, very selfish when it comes to her because I want to see her back in Star Wars so bad. And it's one of those things where you just got to be like, dude, to be honest with you, I'd rather see her happy than back in Star Wars, but so much of me wants to see her back as Gina, man.
I don't want to see her back in Star Wars.
Why?
Because I think she's going on such a great trajectory after she left. I thought she was great.
I agree. Dune, I still want to see her as Cara Dune, though.
Nah.
Cara Cynthia.
I think she needs to keep on.
Cara Cynthia Dune.
So let me say this before I continue. This is a rumor, but the Cara Dune character that was going to move forward, rumor, was, from Alderaan, related to the Organas, looking to seek revenge against those that pulled the trigger that blew up the planet. The story would have been amazing, man. Story would have been amazing.
This is where the fun begins.
I mean, just like that's what I wanted from Disney. You know, like even some of the other characters from Mando, it's like create a new character, don't screw up the old ones.
Yeah.
But you can make a story plow through that time period, you know? So it was like it was you know, like that would have been a cool character through Rangers of the New Republic and
it would have, could have,
all that stuff like that. Yeah. So
but damn, she had to talk about loving each other. Could you imagine? Oh,
Yeah.
I think if there's a change in management, there's a good chance she could come back if that happens. But
damn, I wish I had a video
right now.
for. You heard it here first, kids.
Yeah, I mean that would have been like a cool like story hike, you know. And they kept what's his god, help me up with his name, the guy who was shot, the sheriff that was shot.
Oh, Cobb Vanth.
Cobb
Vanth.
Yeah, he was in the back to tank apparently at the end of Boba.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that he is gonna take her place.
Well, they gave him a belt buckle that had the same symbol on it that was the symbol that they had given her. So I think
that the thing that pissed me off the most, like when that whole thing went down. Look, Jay, if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to.
No, go ahead. It's fine. It's my life, man. It's all good.
The thing that pissed me off the most was after it happened, and you know, we're on internet people. I had to go and look and see what people were saying about it, and they're like, "Oh, she's a bad actor. Get rid of her. You should hire who's the chick who played Xena."
Lucy Princess.
They were like, "Yeah,
Lucy
just
Lawless.
bring her in
Lucy
instead," and stuff like that.
God.
And like, dude, it doesn't bring the same heart that Gina brings to the role, and I feel like it's a very specific heart because she's like. To me, at least, she seems like a very quiet person until she's comfortable and around people. And then she's like a bubbly, happy person. And so it was totally perfect for her because as the character she played, you know, she's a jump trooper that's been through a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
You know, she saw Alderaan go, like all this tough shit she's been through. And then she finally finds Mando as this person she can confide in. And then you see that little bit of Gina come through. Not the jump trooper, you see the little bit of Gina Carano come through. And I loved that for her character.
When you saw like the last episode, she shot that guy because he was like, I was there when Alderaan, you know, it's like they were gonna like that was the scene that was gonna project the next show, like that was adding on. The thing is though,
she was way harder than Boba in that moment, dude.
Yeah.
The bar is low though. The bar is very low there.
But you know, like everyone on the show except for Pedro Pascal, and this is not a dig on him, but it's just fact, came out and said how much of an amazing person she is. You know, they asked these other actors at Comic Cons, who was your favorite person to work with? Without hesitation, they were like Gina Carano was. Yep. And Gina would tell, you know, she'd say like she would show up and bring donuts for everyone and make sure everybody like
terrible human, horrible human.
Yeah, that's just who she was, and you know, it was just the Twitter people like just really they were the one. Like Disney looks at the hashtags, you know, and it's like their currency. So like even going back to like theory, when Pablo Hidalgo and the theory thing was happening, the Star Wars community got Lucasfilm and Pablo trending on Twitter in a negative light. Yeah. And that's why there was an apology sent. And the same thing happened, you know, with her, like the Fire Gina Carano movement. And, you know, it's just, she was, man, she loves that character. My problem.
We love that character.
Listen,
dude.
I'm not her manager. I am not nothing. For whatever reason, we have become really close. And it's, I don't know why. She saw like she went through she told me she went through times where she watched channels big and small that were talking about how Disney did her wrong, and it helped her so much going through that. Like it helped her because the way she was being portrayed was that she was a horrible person, you know, all the words that you couldn't say on YouTube, like she was all that, and then she thought that's what the world thought of her. And then she's finding YouTube channels, all of them. You know what I mean? But like, imagine being in her shoes. You know, it's like, it's like
dude,
the
it's
whole
rough.
world.
You know, the world's looking at you a certain way, and you know, if I could say a small piece, my little piece, you know, everybody that I'm close to and everybody that's in my family, you know, Cara Dune was never a very special character to me. It was like, damn, this is a cool character until that happened. And it was like, you know, this is somebody who has a place in my heart, not only because of what was going on in Star Wars and how I grew to love the character through the season, but, you know, now this is also somebody from Nevada. This is somebody whose family I went to school with too. Now I'm thinking like, okay, this is somebody who really is close to me. And I can tell you right now, there's 5 people on this panel who adore Cara Dune, who love what she did, what she tried to do.
It's what she stood for.
Yeah,
dude, there's so many.
I mean, she planted a flag in the ground and she got crucified for it. And it fucking hurts, dude. It hurts as a person to see that happen.
What hurt the worst was not that being let go. Okay, fine. There you go. Excuse me. But it was the people that work at Lucasfilm that came out and were like, she's a this, she's a that, she's a this. The Pablo Hidalgos, and I'm speaking for myself. I don't want anyone on the panel to be canceled or whatever, but it's the Pablo Hidalgos and like the Matt Martins and all these people that came out on Twitter to say these basically lie, just horrible things about it to try to show the Star Wars fandom that they were justified. I think what happened was they're like, we're just gonna let her go. No one will care. She was in what, 4 episodes, wasn't a big player, wasn't a big character, no big deal. It'll be quiet. Let's just let her go. They let her go. She found out on Twitter, called her agent, like all that stuff, and then they didn't even have the dignity to call her and tell her. And then this whole thing blew up to where it was like Fox News status.
Yeah.
And people were pissed. Like even as far as last week, like you can go to the official Star Wars YouTube channel and all the comments were like, why did you fire Gina? Like still. And I didn't think they expected that to happen. I believe
they sure didn't, dude.
Hell no.
No, that she would become this martyr.
She just poured her heart out on behind the scenes thing. She literally, like they aired it, how she was so self-confident in her, or had no confidence in her acting, and John took her under his wing and was like, this character was literally made for her. Pedro Pascal himself said he sat down in the room and her picture was on the wall as the character. They had not even called her yet.
And I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to speak.
But this goes back to what I've been saying all year, right? Since Boba came out. Like, this is another example of what I've been saying with their PR department. Everybody needs to shut their mouth on Twitter, right? All of the people at work at Lucas, and whether that includes the people that work at Disney or whatever, but this is the same thing that Robbie Rod got everybody all juiced up for something that wasn't there, right? It's the same thing with guys like Pedro. They need to reel in these guys and their social media, because it creates this kind of,
well, the Lucasfilm department needs to take a fucking seat
for sure. But I mean, that's the point, is that they keep letting their directors or story producers or whatever it is that's coming out and using their social media, when they'd be better off just letting PR do PR instead of trying to do PR themselves on Twitter or Instagram.
They don't. It's Star Wars, right? They don't need PR. Let the product speak for itself.
Well, no, you need a PR department.
We gotta kill this youngling real quick. Hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. I'm glad to have you here, brother. Daryl the Derelict, drunk. You've been on his channel.
Yeah, good guy.
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Are you trying to get
he's a good dude. Food? Yeah, but yeah, it's been interesting to see, and you know, it's tough for Gina, because like, you know, she got stuck in front of Ben in this interview that like, oh, she didn't ask for that shit.
No,
and people are like, well, she didn't prepare for that. It's like, dude, she didn't ask to be there.
Her and a few others from The Mandalorian were doing, like, we went through this Last Jedi mess with like the director and the people that love The Last Jedi attacking fans, and started this, man, if you live through it, you were either on this side or this side, and it was like a non-stop pounding for like 2 years. And then so that put a bad taste in a certain section of the Star Wars fandom, which was my section. And then you have Gina and Carl Weathers and I and a few others from the show. They would come out and they would interact with fans on Twitter. You know, even people that didn't like the episode, they're like, that's a little, and they're like, we'll try harder next time. It was a really cool, like, okay, they're trying here. So like that was very much appreciated. The fact that she came on my channel was just like a freaking whim and that was just weird. I'm
not saying that the actors shouldn't come on and do that kind of stuff. I'm saying the people like, you know, Rob Rodriguez that came out and based everybody's expectations into the atmosphere with this all killer no filler stuff. The Pedro comments with Theory, these executives and these people that should be focusing on other things, you shouldn't be focusing on social media. You should be letting the PR department hype you up with tweets that are exciting with posters or exciting with clips and videos or backstage interviews or whatever. Not commenting on.
Nobody needs to call out Mike Zero. You don't need to call out Mike Zero.
Couldn't agree with you more, brother.
You know, and that's the larger problem, and that's what I've been saying for a while now. Is this is what happened with Boba Fett. This is one of the large reasons that it flopped, is because Ruby Rod came out and said, "This thing's going to be all killer no filler. Get your boots on because you're going to need them." And it wasn't that. I think he was watching a specific episode, got excited, and tweeted. But that's part of the flop, right? There's a lot of that goes on at Lucasfilms. Then I'm just saying, let PR release the stuff that they're going to release, get the fan base hyped, instead of creating these controversies that seem good for the moment because you're getting tweets and clicks and hashtags, but ultimately are derailing the ride.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
that's just the world we live in. Yeah, because they come out and they say stuff and people hang on those words.
Yeah, bro.
And you're just kind of like, ooh, look what we're getting. Woo. And then it's like, whoa.
That's why I'm trying. It's hard. It's like running away from free money. It's like somebody saying, here's $10,000. And you're like, no, I don't want it. I'm trying to avoid Kenobi stuff, like running away from free money. And it's hard because I don't want any expectations because I already have my own.
Is Obsession talking about?
But sadly, my only connection to Star Wars is right now is people like X-Wing, people that I just have conversation with. When I saw the people from Luke, and this is just me, and not mad at anybody.
It's awesome for you to go slumming with him.
I ain't mad at anybody that has Disney Plus. Like, so don't get that.
Is that who I am to you, Jay? Am I just? Are you slumming when you?
He's slumming.
Talk to me.
Well, no, I'm saying it's just when I saw the employees from Lucasfilm come out and say these things about my friend who, and let's be honest, my channel, half the subs were because of her, like maybe even more. I you know, it's not like she never wants anything in return, but she will always be supported on that channel over there. And I will always have her back because she's done more for me than she probably ever realizes. You know, it's like I was at 8,000 subscribers. She decides to come on my channel and I gained 19,000 subscribers in 6 hours.
Yeah, but that's a credit to her. But
hey, Jay, I'm only at 1,200. Maybe I'll be at 20K tomorrow.
It's also a credit to you because she saw something that you were saying and was like,
I think she just threw a dart in the wall and we got lucky. That's why I always tease her about that. But we, you know, and so then the whole Welcome to Rebellion movement, which is like gotten so, that's why if you follow my social media, you see me out shooting guns everywhere. And
I was wearing the shirt earlier today, damn it.
And people are like sending me like they're literally like, I got a picture with Trump's press secretary from Fox News. Like they sent me to Fox News.
Dude,
to meet Sean Hannity.
The only shit I care about, you got to meet Taz, bro. Do you have any idea how mad I am that you got to meet Taz?
I got his number. I can call him. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna be together in May again. Like we're gonna be, but that's what I'm saying. It's like all this stuff is because of like, you know, the domino effect. And so when my Disney Plus subscription, you know, when it came, I got to like the 3rd episode of Loki, and then it was out. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna review. You know, Star Wars doesn't feel right to me right now because of the bad taste. You know, they put it this way: they do all this thing like project women and, you know, all that stuff. And if we looked at Disney Star Wars, They had, you know, Ray, the front. They had like white women with like dark hair has been been the front runner of a lot of the Disney stuff, even like Battlefield 2. So it's like they had a lot of that going on, and yet they let Freddie Prinze Jr. put out a tweet where he's slapping a girl. He's slapping a girl when Gina gets fired, saying "Bye, bitch," like slap. And I'm like, you know, you would never slap Gina. You wouldn't even come close because you'd pee your pants. And then you look at everyone who likes it. Matt Martin, all these people were just like, yeah, thanks, Freddie Prinze Jr. So now it's like I know you got to separate the actor from the, you know, from the role.
Well, I mean, look at Mark Hamill. Dude, you know, I mean, the guy's got some crazy stuff going on Twitter. Mark Hamill got some crazy stuff going on. I can't even watch.
It's just when he posted naked pictures of the first lady. And listen, I hate politics. I ain't some Trumper. I ain't like any of that stuff. It's like I hate it. Get it away from me. It's this like get it away. But it's like it just kind of pulls you back in. And
there has to be some kind of a reckoning, though, right, between the two. At some point, there has to be a reckoning between.
It wasn't
the two.
always like this.
No.
That's the thing. It wasn't. We had good films, and listen, and we even had bad films. For me, like Indiana Jones 4 was a bad movie, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Like it was like, all right, they laid an egg. Okay,
it was a misstep.
It happens. It's not. It's, you know, it's not the end of the world. But it wasn't like a franchise killer or anything.
The chat is just ripping Freddy up right now.
It's true. But it's like, you know, like he would never even come close to slapping Gina and calling her the B word.
I want to see that shit on like Celebrity Deathmatch is what I want them to bring back, like that kind of stuff where we can get.
You know, she can't hit anybody.
Yeah, there is a point where when you get proficient enough in a martial art, you actually have to register your hands as deadly weapons.
She's Martin Riggs. Are you kidding? Like she can't hit nobody. That's
dude. Awesome,
listen,
bro. All right. Since you want to talk Gina stuff, we were in Vegas. We had a few, you know, and we were in the lobby.
Every time you two hang out, you have a few.
We were in the lobby. Hey, we're adults.
He could have said we were ripped off our asses walking down the strip. He's being modest.
We were in the lobby of the Lexor in Vegas, and I don't know. We got in this conversation where someone's like, Jay, like there was some like fans, and they were like, Jay, you think you could take her? I was like, if I were to fight Gina, I gotta take her quick. Like I my stamina, you know, I get tired. Like I gotta get her in the first 30 seconds.
I was gonna say, you get past 25 seconds, you're wrecked.
And so it's like,
you gotta sucker punch her from the back.
She's
right?
like,
you're not gonna.
She's like, really? And she does one of those friendly, like, really, you know, like hit you. And I'm like, yeah. And I popped her back. She freaking she hit me, like good, like in the shoulder. And I was like, dang, man. I was like, hey. And she's laughing. I was like, don't kick me. Like, keep it, like, I was like, dang.
She does the Emperor laugh. You haven't seen my full
It was just one of those things. I was like, yeah. And then she goes, boom. I was like, God dang, woman. I was like, what the heck? I was like, no, I'm not going to hit you back. Like, it's all good.
Let me ask you this. Would you do a charity you versus Gina in the octagon? Charity.
With 16-ounce puffies, maybe, not with 4-ounce little gloves.
Bro,
come on.
Her legs are like this big, and it's like
traveling
cement.
only.
It's like getting hit with a tree.
Oh,
trunk,
dude,
bro.
if she roundhouses you to the ribs, you're getting broke.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to when the charity match is over, they're like, you raised 10,000. How do you feel? And my jaw's over here, like,
it's not gonna pay for the hospital bills, dude.
Can it be arm wrestling or like thumb wrestling? I mean, give Jay a chance at least. Come on.
She is these like she has a lot of women fighter friends too, and they come around and like you're like, oh hey, I'm Jay, nice to meet you. You know, they're beautiful women, but they're strong as hell. Like you're like, hey, I'm Jay, and they're like, like remember when Superman in Superman 2 like he squeezed Zod, what was it, Zod's hand?
Yeah, Zod.
Those are the kind of girls that
it's like kneel before Zod and Superman like cracks all his bones.
I want to see those girls back in Star Wars. Girls like Gina. I want to see girls who were total kick-ass chicks.
So let me ask you this question.
I don't.
What if they replace Cara Dune?
Oh,
like
dude,
it.
I'm gonna be okay.
Oh, they're
Like,
gonna
I'm not a YouTube, and Jay, you know this. I'm not like a YouTube grifter. Like, I don't put out negative shit all the time. Like, I do what I can to try to stay positive, but I'm not gonna be fake happy about something. And I'm not gonna be fake.
No, how would
mad about
everyone
something
feel?
else.
Like everybody? Some people might be cool with it, but
Dude, if
Nah.
are you fucking kidding me? If
all
they
right. So
recast her,
here's the thing, and I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just saying, Mando season 3. They announced that, hey, where's Cara Dune? Oh man, she died. Or where's Cara Dune? Oh, she's over here, and it's a different actress.
so if they say
Which
like,
one?
okay, if she died, okay, fine. Like,
Yep.
you know what? We're gonna have to cut ties at this point. Like, she's gone. I would still much rather have her come back, but I understand how she feels about it. Even if they put like a penny in front of her, I get it if she doesn't want to come back. If they recast her, I'm gonna spend a fucking week just screaming at a camera because, dude, that's fucked up. Like, not only do I I own merch from her and I love her as a person. Now you're gonna fucking recast her? Like, I will buy it specifically just to grift on that shit.
No, just kill her off, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And you want to
Same
talk
with
about
recasting
the
Kenobi.
fucking the Twitter backlash from recasting her? I will start a new hashtag and I will take that shit to my death, dude. Fuck you.
The best way for them to do it is just to do an aerial battle, and that's Kara's ship, and
Just
boom,
take
it's
old
gone.
footage.
It's gone. No, I mean just
They'd
like
have to call her back.
They're gonna
to film
Will
something,
Smith her
bro.
in Independence Day.
You don't have to do
Don't
anything.
that.
You can literally just show a ship and then do a voice. I mean, they got all this voice recreation now.
Or
They'll
ju-
cut
or
her a
just-
check and be done, and then it'll be a comms thing. I'm in
don't
trouble.
like that.
Boom, she's dead, and that's it.
Don't like
dude.
You're
that.
talking about her like she's a fucking commodity.
It's
or
the way that they'll do it, though. You know it. You know they're not going to bring her back to do something. Like if they do, she's got to agree to it. There's a lot of road to build there.
or
I
ju-
think
just
people
say
have to
she's off
leave
the
for that to
camera.
happen.
Bro, if they give her 1.2
prepare
mil
your
to
hearts.
oh no, really? Come on.
Am I right?
Oh.
Am I right? Am I wrong? I like being wrong.
I'm not.
Bro.
I don't know anything.
If they Will
I'm not-
Smith her
They'll
from
Will Smith her for
Independence
sure.
Day,
I don't want to like.
Oh my
If
God.
they're
They'll Will
smart,
Smith her for-
they
dude, a
would,
picture
when
of
they
her?
go back to Carl Weather. I always call him, by their real name. They go back to him and they're like,
Apollo?
"Where's Cara Dune at?" And he'll just say, "Oh, I got her out on a mission," and then never mention her again, just in case things change. But
I would love that.
don't know if that will happen.
And then
Picture on the
Disney's
wall.
just gonna roll on through the sunset. Just
We know that Disney don't mind recasting characters because they've done it with Edward Norton, with Incredible Hulk to Mark Ruffalo. They've done it before.
Edward Norton
promise
is still
you,
his
I do
best
not
Hulk.
know this. I promise you, Gina, no one has said anything to me. I think they're gonna recast it.
Damn.
I think there's too much backlash. I think just leaving her off and
Too much
killing her off.
backlash. Have you seen like the hotel?
oh my god, dude.
I
They
agree.
don't give a
So you're
fuck.
just at the point where they don't give.
You must contradict yourself.
You just think they
Yeah.
don't care anymore.
I think they have found their fan base
Yeah.
at their core, and they're pressing forward. with
Nobody
that.
on this panel is in that core.
No, I
Every
know,
listener-
and
listeners are chill.
there's I mean, Disney's biggest win right now is Spider-Man. Like the last few Marvel stuff has been horrible. Like they kind of went that route with like Eternals. I don't know if you saw that. It's like
I watched Eternals.
Hey,
I
well-
did.
we'll make it like the identity whatever, and it sucked.
It
So-
seems like
See, this is
Multiverse
why
of
we have
Madness
to
would be
stream
okay.
though, 3PO, because like I watched Eternals. I didn't see the identity politics in it, but maybe I wasn't looking for it. I don't
So
know.
the
I just
reason
missed
why-
it.
Well,
Doing
that's what
crap.
I'm saying is they advertised that movie as that.
Oh, okay.
So when they were like, we got our gay character, we
Yeah.
got
This was
this,
Safe
we got
Daylight.
that, we got
Right.
that. So you're already going in with a mind. For most people, you're going in with a mindset of, all right, here it comes, because that's how they promoted the film. When they did Spider-Man, like they didn't do any of that stuff. It was just like, Is Toby gonna be in it? Is Andrew
Yeah.
gonna be in it? Yes, no, yes, no. And
Well,
all the conversations, all the debates, all the cool stuff. You know, and John Campea ruined it for everybody.
Well, and
But,
yeah, all
you know,
those leaks. What were there like 40 leaks, 40 independent
Endless.
leaks? I mean, that thing had more, holes in Swiss cheese. So
But if they want to make money, put Garfield in another film, put Toby in another film, and they can now they can pull it off perfectly because now everybody knows what the multiverse is. Before
they
it was
pulled out the multiverse, and now you
like
can just do
normal
whatever the fuck you
people
want.
didn't really understand it, like unless
they
you read
are.
the comic books.
But, I mean, look at the next thing that they just popped out. I mean, hearing Patrick Stewart's voice in Multiverse of Madness was mind numbing.
Yeah.
And getting into these old comic iterations on live action is going to be awesome.
I mean, we're getting Michael Keaton's Batman back.
I'm gonna hit this chat real quick. Darth Arlino with a 5. Thank you so much, my darling. They could kill her off screen, but we know in Star Wars, if you don't see them die, are they dead? Hashtag
That is
Mace
true.
lives. Down with the younglings. You're not gonna get a younglings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your generous contribution to
X-Wing.
Thank you.
I gotta say, those clips are pretty awesome.
So that one's my favorite. When your voice comes in, it's like X-Wing.
It's so cheesy, but so good.
It's so bad.
It's
That
so
was, I don't know what you're talking
cheesy.
about. That's JJ.
So bad.
JJ said that.
It's so
We had lunch on Tuesday.
JJ.
So
Call
I
him a rebel moon.
do have a comment though on what y'all were talking about, right, regarding Eternals and some of the other stuff, which is, as again, as the oldest fart on the panel here, it was so much easier when we didn't have everyone telling us, or the social media and all that telling us anything about these movies, right? We had these oh, McCracken. We had the trailers and what you could get from the trailers, which the trailers then were not the trailers now. It was nothing, right? Then you would go to the movie, you would like it or you wouldn't, right? We have a lot of things coming at us in social media and otherwise that helps us, or sometimes negatively helps us, form an opinion of some of these things before we see them. And for me, it's just a different way to think about it, right? Because it's like should I like it? Should I not like it? Everyone's telling me not to like it. I haven't seen it yet. These people I trust are telling me it's not good. I go and see it. I kind of like it. I come back and I'm like, I like it. And they're like, fuck you, you shouldn't like it. I was like, but I did like it. Should I not have liked it?
I sent a super chat to Jay earlier when he was doing his live stream. I was like, I'm trying to stay positive on Kenobi until I have no choice, because everything is, to me right now, everything is not looking good. And this goes back to the conversation that we first had when we started. But I mean, like, I want to be pumped on it, dude, but there is so much room for them to fuck this up.
I mean, for me, it's the writer, Jared Harold, I think his name is. He wrote Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's recent movie, and that movie is not a good movie.
Joby
Harold. Harold, yeah. So I look at his credentials and I'm like, why have you got him for the Kenobi show? This is what Star Wars is banking on.
Well,
Kenobi
I mean,
isn't
we had John Favreau. How good did John Favreau do on Book of Boba, right? I mean, it's like, anyone can do. It's like,
They also switched
Right.
scripts, so I'm waiting for the original scripts to leak after the backlash. It's just like it repeats itself.
Well, but this
sometimes.
is to get back to the point we were just saying, is like, this is what I keep saying, is that everybody needs to make their own opinion first and foremost, right? Everybody needs to watch the content for themselves.
What the fuck is this?
Base their opinion, and then come out and share your opinion. Not let the critics or the Rotten Tomatoes or any of that sway you from watching it and making your own opinion.
Does anybody actually base any opinion off of Rotten Tomatoes?
A lot of people
base
do.
their opinion off of
a lot of
other
people do.
YouTubers before they watch it. Some people base their opinion off of articles that are coming from the news and Vanity and Daily Wire and all these stuff. Yeah, people base their opinion before they watch stuff themselves, and that's what I'm saying, is that base your opinion, get your heart in it, and then come out and give other people, what your opinion is. But
where are you at, Jay? What do you think about Kenobi?
I'm out of Star Wars. I wanted to watch Kenobi because of Hayden, because back in the day, I felt like I was all alone in the Hayden love category.
Dude, no, you and me, dude.
Yeah.
It's my guy. Anakin's my guy.
So, listen, I will admit, you know what really made me like Hayden a lot more? It's when I watched all the behind the scenes DVDs.
Yes.
And it's like, I felt bad for the kid. Like, you're throwing him in a Star Wars film. You filmed the whole movie in a green box. How is he supposed to know, like, we got a turtle over here, there's an alien over here on your left, and they're just like, and then you got George going, just read this. And he's like, okay. Is there anything around me? Well, we're gonna add some stuff.
That's the thing. That
but even still, he still killed it though. That's the thing is that he
didn't kill it.
He got so much hate back in.
Yes, he did. He did a fucking beautiful job as a.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I'm not even gonna
fuck
dive.
your life. He did a beautiful job as Hayden, and you can go fuck yourself if you don't believe that. He did a beautiful job as fucking Vader. Go fuck yourself.
Okay. He played this part. He got an immense amount of shit for it. Right. This was before the Twitterverse. This was before the social media campaigns. Right. So this was back when there was just print and reel and beginning of internet articles.
He's a celebrity.
So he comes in, he does this thing, he gets shit on, and as time goes on, a decade passes, and everybody's like, damn, that was actually really good. Right, and then it ages better, and it ages better, and it ages better. I think
they felt sorry for him.
Yeah,
it really wasn't still really good though.
Let me guess. You're gonna tie this into thinking that the sequels are gonna be good after X amount of years, right?
I wasn't even teeing that up. My point being is that if you watch the behind the scenes of him training with the trainers and doing the movie, the kid gave it every single piece of himself. Whether there was green screen, whether there was a battle going on, whether he was in a ship, he gave himself 100%, and everybody shit on him after the movies. And now everybody's like, oh my God, like he's back, right? And they're forgetting what they said a decade or plus more ago, right? And so it's funny how short our memories are. Like, I think I watched the movies, I watched the behind the scenes, and the kid gave it his all, and he killed it.
So here's my opinion on this topic, and I'm sure I've gotten canceled so many times tonight, so I'm just one more time is fine. But for me, I think I'm going to have the same experience with Hayden in Kenobi as I had with Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. Right? I thought he killed it. I didn't think he did anything good back in the day in any of those other Spider-Man films, right? But I thought he killed it in No Way Home, right? Because I don't think Hayden killed it in the prequels, right? But I fully expect now that I'm going to have the same experience with Hayden and Kenobi.
But difference
as
between
I
Hayden
had with that.
But Matt, the difference between Hayden and Andrew's had more experience in the film industry since Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Andrew is a much better actor than Hayden is. I get it. I'm just saying from an experience standpoint.
Watching Hayden mimic what they did in the original with James Earl Jones's voice and mimicking the tone and getting all that right. Like,
that was dope as fuck,
I'm sorry, dude. Go back and watch it again, and then watch James Earl Jones's voice and the way that the movement and all of that stuff was. Hayden did his homework. Hayden's a boss. I love.
He's gonna crush.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I prefer Jake Lloyd.
You're wrong.
I mean, listen. We can all admit the dialogue in Attack of the Clones has a lot of cringy. The love dialogue was a little rough, just a little rough.
You didn't like it?
Know, the one scene where Padme's like, "I deeply, fully, heavenly love you." You're just kind of like, who talks like that?
Fucking nerd.
I mean, you and Donnie.
I actually didn't mind the sand comment because I live in Florida. I'm at the beach. I hate going. Listen, we live in Florida. We hate going to the beach. I don't care what anybody tells you. We go to the beach.
You live on a beach and you hate the beach.
The same crap. We're like, you want to go to the beach?
I hate
sand. Sand gets everywhere, man. Like it's in our car. It's in our shoe.
I live on Tatooine, bro. I'm in the desert on Tatooine. Trust me.
That's why Jay wears Crocs with socks.
Got that right, man. So it just gets all in the car. So it's like when he said that line, I was like, yes. He's one of us.
Jay, you're speaking my language here.
But
Just
yeah, I
depends
wanted
on
to
where
see.
you live, bro.
I wanted to see Kenobi because of Hayden, just as you know.
Not
I
really.
think because if you don't know, if you watch the behind the scenes of Episode 3, you find out that the lightsaber duels were directed by Steven Spielberg. He just couldn't get credit because of the Film Actors Guild.
The PGA.
And so you're like,
The fact
man, that's
shit.
sick. So
Yeah.
Well,
it's
and
like,
the
that's
behind the
sick.
scenes on those scenes where he's training with the trainer.
Oh yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even-
Like
it's
he-
just
hours
the focus and
doing the same
dedication.
thing. Hours,
Like and
hours.
messing up and getting hit in the head and shaking it off and getting a drink of water and getting back on the mat. It's just like it's not. They didn't speed any of that up. It's all real time. It's just so good, dude. It's
They
just
had to
We'll
slow
see.
down. They had to slow down Ray Park and Ewan.
yeah.
Well, guys, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure in Kenobi as Vader, he'll have his helmet off because that's the trend now. Helmet off.
Okay,
Right.
so
we'll
this-
see
you know
what
why that
happens.
is? You know
We'll
why
see
that
what happens.
This is a big
Helmetless
point of
Vader.
contention.
You know,
I
you know
gotta
why
ask
that
Jay.
is? There's a whole rule behind that. In one of the unions, if you're an actor, you have to have so much amount of face time.
Yep.
Sad-
People don't really
sad
realize that. That's why,
Yeah.
like, when you see like the Marvel films, Spider-Man is always taking his mask off. Iron Man's mask is always off, which is like not common in the comic books. But it's like they had to have X amount of time showing their face. It's in like the union thing.
It's a
Makes
SAG
sense.
rule. It's a screen.
Yeah,
actors
yeah.
rule.
It's one of
SAG
those
rule.
things. So
See, I work in the trades. It sounds like the same thing. I have to spin wrenches so much with this company in order to be able to be recognized by the union.
Well, and it goes down to how many lines you have. If you have like Mark Hamill's, obviously the huge star that he is, but the fact that he said nothing in The Force Awakens, technically by the book they could pay him the bare minimum, but he's Mark Hamill, so they of course he gets the big dollars. But it's by how many lines you have, it's by how much screen time you have. That's all based on pay and stuff. So
yeah,
God, I watched The Force Awakens 6 times in the theater.
I saw Last Jedi 5 times.
you were hyped, dude, weren't you? You were hyped.
I'm in the theater, like looking the first time I watched it, I'm like, dang, when is Luke gonna get here, man? Like that's all I wanted to see. I watched it over and over to watch that.
I'll tell you, dude, I have no shame. I watched it over and over again. I was
did.
so hyped.
You
I
know what they
was so
did?
hyped.
You guys spoke about Rogue One. That's where they got me. They dropped Rogue One the next year, and I'm like, I like it. Okay, I like the story.
We're doing Star Wars.
They give us that freaking Vader scene, and I'm telling you, I'm with like 20 people. I roll deep. Okay, and we get out, and like
He's
we're
so
all
popular.
we're just like, if they did that for Vader, wait till you see what they're gonna do for Luke. That was the comment for a year. If they did that with Darth Vader, wait till you see what they do with Luke. And then we went and saw what they did with Luke, and you're just like, what the hell?
it only took 10 years for you to get the Luke you wanted in the hallway scene. It only took 10 years.
Jay,
Some-
hell
some
was
things
not the
are
word I
waiting.
used.
I mean, when you leave the theater like confused and sad, and it's not like what?
See, Rise of
Those-
Skywalker's the one that done that for me. I got angry with that film because of just all the contradictions and it just done my head in.
By the time I got to that movie, I was like, it was a comedy for me. I was like, I'm just gonna laugh because what can they possibly do? But I'm just telling you, that Vader scene set up for many of us, that's what, if they did that for Vader, Luke is gonna be amazing. Just watch.
We're gonna end it. I have a question for Jay. If they fight in real life, is it canon breaking? If they fight in a Force vision, is it okay?
They fight in real life. I think it's canon breaking.
No.
That's my boy.
No.
Yeah.
That's my
They're
boy.
gonna fight. They're gonna fight in real life, and it's gonna be the same Vader that we loved in Rogue One. And
Yeah,
what's
win me my
wrong
money.
with that?
Win me my money. Yeah.
You're wrong, Obsession. If you
I'm not wrong.
Idiot.
What
Yeah,
would be
that'll-
the impact
it'll-
on the
You
screen?
think they're not going to fight in real life, Obsession?
They're not gonna fight in real life.
They're not going
They
to fight in
are.
real life.
100%.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Twice.
Oh, yes, they
Send you to Jesus.
They need that Disney Plus subscription, baby. They
Come
are
on.
fighting
Yeah.
in real
Why do
life.
it as a vision?
Nah, they're
Absolutely.
gonna satisfy it with all the other shit that they're gonna.
And you
pull
know
out of
what?
that.
This new breed of Star Wars fan won't care. That's what they want to see. I'm telling you, they found their base. They found a group that doesn't care about. They don't care about this timeline thing. They just, I'm telling you, they don't care. I talk to them. I see them at Galaxy's Edge. Like they don't care. They just want it. It's like, it's all about me. Well, what do you want? I want to see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight again. All right, here you go, sir. That's what I want. What do you want? I want Baby Yoda. Well, we got a Boba Fett series. I don't care. I want Baby Yoda. Okay, here you go. Here, we give it to you. You know, this is what they are doing. It's a nonstop. You know, it's about me, and like they had the best thing ever. And I know you want to leave. When
you heard me right now, Jay.
I can't stand. And this is just me. I'm not talking for the panel because I don't want anybody. I can't stand Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained. I have a long history. Geeks and Gamers that I'm a part of, we have a long history. Anyway, they came out after the Rise of Skywalker, and Alex was about to cry because he was so upset because that movie broke apart 4 of their biggest selling books in Disney Star Wars. It just threw them in the trash. They don't count anymore. And if you do that to your shill army, because they don't care, and they wrote those books to make a new story, like there was Bloodline in there, and there was a whole thing about Poe and the Navy, and then the Rise of Skywalker comes and just says, nah, Poe was he was a smuggler, he was a smice runner, like throw all that stuff out. I remember watching him, and he was just upset. He goes, I mean, the movies come first, and you know, I guess those books will just be like a fun fiction thing. And it's like, right then and there, it just, I mean, I was kind of funny, but it just spoke to me. It's like they just don't care.
Please don't go this way.
I can show you the world.
They don't care, man. They're just gonna do it. Bro, they gave us Boba Fett. He didn't kill anybody. They showed Cad Bane for 5 seconds. Oh, Cad Bane! He gets killed, and now everyone's like, he's not dead, okay. And you're like, you're right. Star Wars, nobody dies. They bring back freaking Darth Maul 1,000,000 times. Why? Because they don't care. It's like it's like let the man die. You know, now when Obi-Wan cuts him in half, it's not impactful anymore because you're like, yeah, he's back. He's back 100 times. You know, now he's in Solo, and everyone's like, oh yes, we got Darth Maul again, and then nobody cares. It's like they're just gonna pump stuff out. It's the heart and soul of Star Wars is gone. And I'm sorry, I don't want to upset anybody. It's gone because it's being run by a corporation that just looks at paper. Like, how much did Star Wars make this month? Oh, we made this. All right, good. Keep doing the same thing. That's what we want. We need money. So I don't care what you put out. Just let them consume it. We need Disney Plus subscribers. Well, maybe if Vader and Obi-Wan fought, more people would sign up. All right, do it. Make it happen. So that's the sad thing. And you have to look at Star Wars with a different lens than what it was, because that's
never going to be the same.
No.
Never.
No,
and I said that earlier. I got in trouble. I got in trouble. I said that earlier. I said the heart and soul, the soul of Star Wars was gone when he sold it, because George made these movies with his heart and soul. Right? He wrote it and he was like, I want to make this, and I don't want any corporate backing. I was like, I don't want nothing. I don't want no money from anybody. And then as soon as Disney buys it, it's like all of our money is coming from corporate backing. Like it's going to be made to their liking, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. We talked about the Starcruiser. They're like, how do we make this popular? Put Han and Leia on it. Put their honeymoon on it. Just do it. Yeah, but what about? No, there's no what about. Just do it. Well, let's put some. We got people that like the prequels. All right, put Padme and Anakin on it. Just do it.
But
and you're just like,
we got the Luke,
no
though.
Conscious. Just do it.
But we got the pretty Luke. How do you feel about the pretty Luke? Because I was very happy with that. We got to see Luke 5 years or whatever it is after, you know, Return of the Jedi.
Listen, they had me back at Mando 2. They had me. I was ready. I actually loved Lego Star Wars Christmas. I thought it was hilarious. I have a video on my channel where I'm like, I know everybody hates it, but I think it's
Terrifying
funny.
Tales was funny. Yeah,
so, but the leadership does all this crap. It just shows me that they just don't care.
But what about the new Luke? What'd you think?
It has no me. I didn't see the episode, but it all roads lead to booby milk. So it's like, what?
You talking about the green milk from the titty from the sea cow shit? Yeah.
That's where it. And listen, Luke himself, like, it bothers me that, you know, he gave lightsaber or chainmail, baby Yoda, which one you want? He picked
Dealing in obsoletes.
Yeah, obsolete.
Obsolete.
And then
Absolutes.
and then when absolutes, I know I screwed
Have
that
another
up.
beer.
They apparently Luke just kicked him off the island, threw him in the X-wing, and says, "Be gone with you." So now you're telling me Luke's first student didn't want to be with him, then his second student murders all the kids. It's like they're just making my man like just the worst person in Star Wars. The worst person in Star Wars. So I love Luke Skywalker. Dude, Luke Skywalker would die for his friends, would die for his father, would die like, I don't care. I'm going to do it. I got to save them. I'm not going to let my friends suffer. This is the guy who taught us when we were growing up, like value, life, things like that. It's like, this is what I'm going to stand for, and like Yoda's like, no, you need to stay in training. He's like, and let my friends die? Nah, I'll die. They don't need to die because I love them. And I'm going to go after him. You can't face your dad alone. I'm not going to fight him. He's going to have to kill me because I love him. There's good in him. I know he murdered a gazillion people, but there's good in him. That's the Luke that taught us all these values, where it's just like, and then in the prequels, I know you got to go, but in the prequels, you saw that with Anakin.
It's green
like
titty milk.
But in episode 3, like one of the clones, he goes, I'm going to help him out. It's like Luke. He's like, I'm going to help that clone out. And everyone's like, no, they're doing their job. We're going to do ours. Right in the beginning of the film. His heart was like, let me help him. I can. That's what Luke's mentality is. Then you're going to go to this place where it's like, I had a bad dream. Let me kill my nephew. And, and like give up. Chewbacca
Drunk,
shows
I'm in
up.
the
He's
same
like,
spot, dude. It's a hard buy. It's a hard buy.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, it's this is where we're at. And I love seeing the Luke and the Mandalorian. It was, of course, I got emotional just like everybody else. I was like, this is freaking awesome. That's why we got emotional. Because that's what we wanted. So, Star Wars, man.
So everybody's like, we got this Luke, blah, blah, blah. They don't deserve it. They're not allowed to make Luke like that. That's what I've heard, basically, is people are saying, hey, Disney can't do that. But what other road can they take for us to like try to get on a path of healing? And Drunk, I've commented on your shit, you heard it. I'm like, dude, what's the path to healing right now? Like, how do we heal this? And we're like, well, we want to see legacy characters treated well. So we saw that in Boba Fett. We saw Luke treated well.
Not Boba.
Like, not Boba.
Whoever cared about Boba Fett? That's what he wants to say. Whoever cared about Boba Fett?
Boba Fett was my second favorite character of all time in Star Wars.
When I say legacy characters, I mean, basically the big three. I'm talking about
Trinity,
Han,
the Holy Trinity.
Leia, the Holy Trinity. I mean, they're trying apparently to do that. So, like, should we respect that they're trying to do that, or should we just shit it down and be like, you know what? They're just doing it for money.
I feel what I want from Disney is give us something brand new I never seen before.
So stop fucking with the OG stuff.
There's no
just
reason
let it
to.
go.
Do I want to see Grandmaster Luke kill everybody and be the? Of course,
hell yeah.
But it's like, it's the same way George Lucas had a trilogy with characters that we fell in love with, that we were like, and that's the beauty of Star Wars. Everybody was important. You look at you were talking about Return of the Jedi. C-3PO had an important role. He was the god of the Ewoks. If he didn't have that, R2 had an important role. Like, he was the one that opened the door. Han had an important role. Chewie had an important, like, everyone had something they had to do, which made people like the different characters, some better than others. And they have so many stories that they could just grab and just say, all right, we're gonna go this route. They're making this High Republic, and apparently they're making a High Republic TV series for Disney Plus. And it's like, give us something, create characters like that.
John Watts is directing an episode now.
And that's what I was saying. Like, the Cara Dune character would have been an awesome, not because it's Gina, but just like where that road was going.
Good segue.
It was like legacy characters were there, but they weren't interfering. So it's like your plan, like even with Mandalorian, look, whatever it takes, he wasn't messing up the legacy characters' world. He was like going through it.
Right, yeah.
So Luke just happened to show up to help him, and okay, cool. Now we're, now he's got the dark saber. He's like ready to go with the dark saber, and we'll have all that stuff going on. That's what I'd like to.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah. Now that I rule Mandalore, so it's just that's how that goes. But I mean, healing. Man,
so is that the road to healing then? That we basically send these characters through the story without basically even looking at them, and just charge our way through the timeline.
I just don't think like they need to, like Han and Leia going on a honeymoon on the Starcruiser.
Don't get me started on that, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for that. You just built the damn thing. Like, let people. It's like building a new roller coaster. Let people go and experience it, and it will build its own. It'll stand on its own merit. So that's the healing for me personally. Would it be an apology to Gina? Would be number one. But that's just me.
I agree.
Not even bringing her back, but at least saying, we were a little harsh there.
Yeah.
Like that's. I know she's very happy what she's doing now, but she did love the character.
That's
like
when a snowball stays frozen in hell. That's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, Disney would never do that.
Yeah,
they're just because it's committing to their own mistakes. And Disney don't like doing that.
Dude, if they do that, I'm gonna play that episode 1.
You can have a crystal ball as well, X-wing.
Yeah.
Like raise it up and
hold it over my head.
I just think they try. Like right now, they're in this place where they're just trying stuff that they think is cool, but they have no creativity to make. Like they have people in charge of Star Wars that don't understand Star Wars or the fandom.
Well, that's what I said.
You're not
when
gonna
I
please
chatted to
everybody.
you. I'm like, dude, they're literally using legacy characters because they can't create anything new, and that's that. This is that hashtag that's going around for Lord of the Rings right now. That evil cannot create anything new; it can only corrupt. It's the same thing.
Jeez, it's that deep. Is that deep?
They can listen. They can pause, take a breath, and say, "We're doing some stuff here." And just start building, They got the money. They ain't going broke.
Dude, Hawks is pissed right now. I know when you leave,
we're
gonna have a fucking conversation.
he's triggered again. He's triggered.
I'm not.
Oh, about me? Did I say something?
No,
no,
not you.
No, but I feel the pain when a lot of people talk about the soul of Star Wars or this and that, and it's like the soul is there. Like the people creating it have that passion for Star Wars, and I feel like just when things don't hit for lack of whatever your opinion is on it, that pulls people out of it. So we're easily triggered by little moments or characters, but as far as new, like that's why I try to sit here and stand The Last Jedi, because outside of those other 2 films, at least they did some new shit. They went back to Palpatine because nobody received that story well. They didn't even have that shit finished. So they got scared and like, okay, shit, bring all the OT back. Let's go to Palpatine. Now they're telling OT stuff that's not being well received. Now they're trying to do new stuff with the High Republic. All people want to do is focus on NPC fucking haircuts. Like, that's it, man. So either you guys want the new shit, or you don't. Like, it's kind of like these are the people who are not happy with both. Okay, so it's just like I feel for them. I do, because I want new. I want all new shit. I want to move away from the OT. I want the new shit. I'm ready.
I'm with you. I think Rian Johnson should have did the whole trilogy.
Yes.
Even if I hated it.
Yeah.
He should have done the whole
the
trilogy
story would have
because
been
the
way
story's
better.
so sucked.
Or one person directing the entire thing.
I'm not a JJ guy, so like I hear what you're saying. Someone should have just at least blueprinted it.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I thought Rise of Skywalker was a joke. They literally like went and messed. It was like 2 directors were fighting, throwing a tantrum.
It was a measuring contest. That's all it really came out to be in the end. You know,
all the way
that-
down to
that
that
was-
line about the freaking lightsaber being treated with more respect. It was
Yeah.
literally right down
Also
to
with-
the line.
With Rise of Skywalker, it made the franchise feel like, because that's the end point. That's the furthest we've gone in the story, and we feel like we're leading to that, and we feel horrible about it because it's not a great movie. Like,
And
it's
they
not
don't know
a
where
great
they're going
high point.
beyond that. They
No.
don't know where they're going beyond.
Oh, it
that.
was that movie. I hated the Last Skywalker because what they did to Luke. So that's
Yeah.
me. I loved Finn. Finn was my guy. I was waiting for that
Hell
freaking
yeah.
lightsaber and the Force. He should have had that in Rise of Skywalker. And
No, he seemed to
the
decide
whole
to dump
movie's
that
like,
screaming.
Ray, I got to tell you something. Never told her anything.
God, they
Right?
shit
And
on
then
him, dude.
like, hey, we need to find a dagger. Hey, I tripped over something. Cool, the dagger. Hey,
Oh my
let's go
god,
to
it's
the Death
sand
Star.
that doesn't
it
that
works.
defies the
So
laws of
stupid.
physics.
I'm with you on that, Hawk. I'm seriously with you. Like, one person should have just done the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't like it, at least, like right now, they're just trying to backtrack and try to fix it, like with comic books and books and.
Mhm.
And
And at least one person could have set Easter eggs throughout that story that you can build on in another trilogy. Like they have what? Palpatine gonna come back again? Like, is that your next trilogy? Like,
Hawks, do you think if they'd done the Colin Trevorrow script, that the
I
sequel
enjoyed
trilogy
it more. I
received
didn't-
a lot better?
yes, because they
Duel of the Fates
introduced
was
a
way
higher
better.
Sith Lord or somebody. Like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't even cared had it been Plagueis. Like, it could have been anybody.
So did you hear the scratch? I know you got to go X-Wing. I know you have to go too, but did you hear the scratchings?
Actually, hey, by the way, I don't have to go. I made osobuco for my wife, and I started it at 12 o'clock. I made osobuco for my wife. She ate it. She's in bed. I'm good.
So did you hear the scratchings where what they wanted to try to do was in the throne room scene, Rey was going to turn and show it was going to be like a total recall moment. And they were going to beat the crap out of Kylo.
Yep.
Kylo goes crawling back to Luke. And it was like, I really messed up, buddy.
I like
Help me.
that way more. I like
And
that
then
way more.
Luke and Kylo go to fight Rey and, Snooki. And it's like,
Snooki.
But I even like the whole going back to Vader's castle and having Luke's Force Ghost haunt Kylo.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great tie.
There were so many good.
It helps Luke carry on. It made sense because when Luke says "See you around, kid," then we know what he's doing. He's tormenting.
That was my
Kylo.
favorite line that Luke has ever said, by the way. See you around, kid.
That's a great clip.
Just irritating to
And
me.
again, I probably could have forgave a lot of The Last Jedi, except they had Luke die like a fart in the wind. And I was just like, all right.
Literally a fart the way he didn't even show. I was literally talking to my brother about this today on the phone. He was like, he's a Lord of the Rings guy, and he was like, it's the same shit. They're fucking it up. It's the same shit. I'm like, I'm sorry, Phil. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Because he's about to go through what we went through with the sequel trilogies, but. Some good Lord of the Rings news, actually. There is another project that's going on, and this is good for all you Lord of the Rings fans. So they're doing the yes. So they're doing the Amazon Prime shit or whatever.
And then
but they're also doing another project that's a 2D it's an animated film, and Weta has gotten involved. A bunch of the historians from Lord of the Rings are getting involved. And New Line Cinema is actually running the project. So we're actually going to get like a New Line Cinema, Weta, all of the people that were involved with the original Lord of the Rings films are making this 2D animated film. And they're doing it about, and Nick, you're going to help me on this. Something Hammer.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's Warner Brothers distributing it. So I know it's an anime Lord of the Rings. I think it's following the continuity of the original Lord of the Rings movies.
This is 200 years before, but I mean, the big thing is that it's a pushback against the Amazon shit.
Amazon, yeah.
So I hope that goes.
I mean, it's
that
anime
goes
as
very
well.
well.
And we know anime is dominating the culture at the moment. Because I've recently
the Japanese
watched,
don't give a shit about the woke culture in America.
Well,
They're like, fuck it, we're gonna make a movie. Yeah, fuck fuck your message.
Yeah, but
Well,
obviously we don't either when they cut that stuff out to show the films in other countries.
Yeah.
So what does
But
that tell you?
It's like I was watching
Yes, sir.
Blade Runner Black Lotus recently because I wanted to go back into the Blade Runner world, and that story there it follows Jessica Hendricks, and she voices the main character. And it's the first time really watching anime, and you realize they treat the female characters like they get beaten up properly. That they have an arc instead of this whole like Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, like I'm better than you, I'm so much better.
Well, I love Captain Marvel. It's such a good story.
But
3PO was like, fuck your life.
But that's what the thing. I'm not a big
Each his
anime
own.
fan, but I do find that they understand characters more than what we do in the West. In the West, we're just like, oh, we got to have strong female, we got to have whatever tick box comes in, and we can't have anything masculinity because it's toxic, all that type of thing come into a series.
That's why they hate Jay.
Yes. And I mean, it's like they've got it's like that's the thing with Star Wars, and that's what I'm worried about with Kenobi. Are they going to turn Kenobi into this wimp, like whiny, like miserable with about Anakin? Keep worrying about Anakin, like, oh, what he's done and he's put me into this state.
Well, they have to go into the dark, deep depths.
Wait, does Hawk not want to know this stuff?
No,
Me?
that's Obsession. Obsession left.
Oh no,
Obsession
I'm like
left.
full
Oh, yeah,
spoilers.
sorry.
Send it.
So
I'm watching all
apparently,
that,
there Darth Vader sends out the Sith
The Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Inquisitors, yeah, and I think one of them locates Obi-Wan,
Mhm.
and either Obi-Wan kills it and sends out a beacon, and then there's supposed to be one flashback episode from the Clone Wars, because the Jedi armor was spotted on the set.
I'm
or
so
something
excited
like
about
So
that,
that
dude.
would be kind of cool to see Hayden, you know, in the clone
Bro, Ewan
armor.
in the white clone armor?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, let's
I mean, that's the thing.
go.
I've got the slideshow collectibles of Obi-Wan Mythos, and he's got the armor on his backpack.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I love that, and I wish they actually carried that into the series where he's like carrying and having Qui-Gon's
That would-
lightsaber attached at the back and stuff. It was
Darth
just cool.
Darth Bayou dropped a extremely generous $20 donation. So
Look at
just
that.
showing some love for this great panel. We're gonna revisit our favorite moment of the Book of Boba Fett.
Like a panther. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That was a really good part of the series. So, thank you, Darth Bayou, for that. I appreciate you, brother.
Like a bantha.
Like a banta.
But I'm still excited for Kenobi. I just have my doubts because of certain
I hope it's
things.
I hope it's really good.
Because I mean, it's got the producers on it. The owner, you got Ewan.
I love the director.
Oh yeah, Deborah's
Yo,
great.
Deborah Chow is a
And
fucking
she's
beast.
awesome.
But-
She's a
but the-
beast.
But the other two producers are Kathleen Kennedy and her assistant.
Yeah, but Kennedy's name is gonna be on everything.
Everything.
So it doesn't matter. Like she's gonna even be on the toys. You know, pretty much anything Lucasfilm, like she's gonna have her name on it. So yeah.
I think I have a card back figure. It said like partially produced by Kathleen Kennedy.
It might
Like,
be.
It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah. So but I love the director. Like that. There's a lot of good that could come from this series. But let's be honest. Why are they making it? Why would they make a Kenobi series? Why?
I mean, it was supposed to be a movie though. It was supposed to be a trilogy. That was the original report back in 2016, 2017. Because Ewan came out on Collider and said that they're thinking of 3 movies. This is when they were writing up the contracts and stuff. And then because of the failure of Solo, they didn't want to carry on the Star Wars stories, so that's why they've done it as a Disney Plus series.
But they announced so many. You remember we went through that period where they're like, this guy's getting a movie and trilogy for Ryan.
It was
and
like
we got
16 movies.
Yep.
And then
Dan and Dave, the Game of Thrones guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I heard
and
nothing
it's just
about
like
that.
Everyone's doing stuff, and then like slowly they start erasing that
Well,
stuff from the board.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
If you
yeah.
talk shit on my Jennifer Beals, I swear to God,
Really
I will
upset
fucking
review.
find you.
Yeah, but it's like the Star Wars show's disappeared now. Do you remember when that used to be on every week from the
Yeah.
Star Wars YouTube channel? And then after Rise of Skywalker, it just
Yeah.
pushed to one
They
side.
had
and
a
now
huge list too. I mean, even what was that woman she was gonna direct?
And
Like the
Oh yeah, Rogue Squadron.
the
Oh,
Rogue
Patty-
Squadron.
Patty
Yeah,
Jenkins.
they're
Patty
like,
Jenkins.
all right,
Oh,
that's
Patty
on hold.
Jenkins.
Then it's like,
Yep.
no, it's back. Now it's on hold again,
Yep.
and it's like, what are they doing? Isn't Waikiki
They don't know.
the guy who did
yeah,
Thor?
Like
and
Taika
Taika
Waititi,
Waititi.
He was supposed to have a film.
he's still got
No,
it.
Still-
Yeah, his is still
This is going.
someday.
So
Wasn't Ryan
Jay,
Johnson supposed to have a trilogy?
Someday.
Jay, did you watch the movie? Oh my God, Jojo Rabbit?
Oh,
I like Jojo
no.
Rabbit, yeah.
I never
Should
saw
I
it.
would watch. Reserve your hate for Taika Waititi
I don't
until
hate
you
him. I
watch.
actually loved that Thor film.
Yeah.
And
Same.
the Thor movie was good, but when
I
I'm
laughed
talking
that it
about
was-
when I'm talking about serious aspects of filmmaking, like watch Jojo Rabbit and then be like, okay, this guy can make a serious film that has humor in it. Because
Yeah,
it was,
I agree. Yeah, I don't hate him as a director.
It
What
was-
my thing was, Kathleen Kennedy would come out. It just shows like I don't think she kind of knows everything that's going on. They're like, yeah, we got this, we got that, we got this, we got that, and then it's like a month later, it's like, yeah, that's been put on hold, but we're not gonna talk about it.
dude, they were handing out shit like it was free candy. They're like, by the way, we're
Dude.
making 900 Star Wars projects, but we're only gonna
And then
actually
they
make
they
3.
go, I'm sorry. When you say this excuse about Star Wars, there's some inner works weirdness going on. When they're like, it's Star Wars fatigue. I was like, you must be out your mind. I would go to the theater every day to watch a new Star Wars film every freaking day. If you
Look at
had them out there
Marvel.
and they were good.
Marvel had
No.
4 shows and
Look what they
Three
did with
movies last
Marvel.
year.
There was no Marvel. I mean,
4 movies.
we had 13 years of freaking superhero films. People still went to them.
Dude, if they put out a 6-hour film every single week, do you think Star Wars fans wouldn't sit there and go frame by frame for
course.
every
Oh, absolutely.
single
That's the,
fucking
that's
frame
the thing
of
with
those
Star
movies?
Wars franchise. You have people that will hate watch it, love watch it, not like wonder what's going on, but still
But they're
watch
gonna
it.
watch
and-
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
it's-
think we all agreed last week that it could literally just be all of that Old Republic cinematics, and I would watch that
Yes.
24/7.
oh man,
Just tell me
how
the
many times have I
story.
gone back to that just to like
Yeah.
To
take a,
watch those two twins and like
Oh, the
Oh my
Knights of the
God,
Fallen
ridiculous.
Empire.
the twins was
Fantastic.
freaking
Sacrifice.
awesome, man. Make a
what a
movie with that.
mind-
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Give that to Ryan Johnson.
No.
Let him do that one.
Dude, yes, please.
He can't mess up new characters that we don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I will say one show we haven't heard much from is that Lando. The only thing we got the right
Lando,
Dear
yeah.
White people.
Couldn't give a fuck about a Lando show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The writer is from Dear
I just
White
don't.
people.
I just don't care. I just don't care. I don't.
It's gay now.
It has nothing to do with the character at all. But I mean, I just don't like. I don't care. I don't. Why?
Well,
He's gonna go around and
uh,
pick up women and men.
Droids.
Yeah, we're gonna learn all about how to
Droids.
mine Tabana gas.
Hide your,
from
hide your
fucking,
wives,
like-
hide your droids.
Oh,
banging everybody
no,
out here.
No.
No, I just
Exactly. That's gonna be the theme song. Hide your
Oh.
kids, hide your wife.
Had your kids and your Tabana gas.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Jesus.
I mean,
Do you remember when like that dry erase board was leaked with all the ideas, and they were like
Oh my god.
the
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs.
diversity.
And they're like
So-
anti-war is what it said. Anti-war.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fucking title says Star Wars. What?
Jay, are you gonna watch Acolyte and review it, or are you just laugh at it, or are you just gonna not avoid it completely?
That's coming in the theater, right?
No, that's TV series Acolyte.
More TV series.
Yes, there's these headlines.
Man, I don't know, man. Like I just it's I actually honestly I was really looking forward to Andor. Or is that what it was called?
Andor,
The Andor
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Because I
Absolutely.
really think that time period is the time that that time period is where I really love Star Wars in that time period. You got the spies running around and stuff like that, and like, but
It's Empire Strikes Back time.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just Star Wars really it broke my heart, man. And it's like I'm not back yet. So the stuff I'm doing with Gina and the other stuff, it's like there's a lot of cool stuff moving forward with a lot of people, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be a part of movie making. Is that the best thing I could say without giving anything out?
Yeah.
And traveling and being a part of this different world I've never been a part of, that I can't believe I'm about to be a part of something. And
Jay works for Lucasfilm?
Yeah.
More like it.
No.
And just kind of like see, you know, it's like I'm excited about that. So Jay, it was an honor to share the screen with you. I hope we can do it again sometime. Of course. I love X-Wing, man. I always, when X-Wing's in my chat, I'm like, you never invite me on. He finally did. And I was like, well, I better get on.
Do you not remember last year when I was like, hey, bro, you want to come on my channel? And you're like, well, I'm kind of famous. I'm a celebrity, so I can't come on your channel, bro.
No, I don't
Those were my
remember that at
exact
all.
words, but it was pretty close. I was like, get your sub count up, buddy. Like, get your sub count.
I was trying to get there. I got to hit 10K before he comes on.
Savage.
So I got to hit that.
Savage.
So if you haven't, subscribe. We got to get to 10K, and then Drunk will actually be on my channel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your generous contribution to
X-Wing.
Thank you.
I love it. X-Wing. I love it.
Do you guys think that Indiana Jones 5 is actually going to get released, or do you think
Oh,
that's going to keep
God.
getting
Is that
pushed back
really
and
still a
back?
conversation? Is anybody really still talking about
Who
fucking Indiana
cares
Jones
about
5?
that?
That's my favorite of all time. Indiana
Can they
Jones,
delay
my
it so
favorite
long that
character of
even
all
Harrison
time.
Ford walks away?
Enlighten me. Please, Drunk, enlighten me.
It's gonna be terrible.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we are on the same page. Okay.
It's gonna
Never
be
mind.
terrible. I love the Harrison Ford. I love it. I love Indy, but man, like again, we're at this place where it's like, why? Just Indiana Jones 4. You did make a ton of money because everybody wanted to see him again, but then we all left like, yeah, you know.
Dude,
One
if
too
you
many
thought
times
Kingdom
to
of the
well,
Crystal
you know?
Skulls was bad, imagine what this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Where
when
do
you
you
have
go
the
from
director
there?
going on Twitter and fighting with people for like 2 days, and you're just like, why? you're a
I don't do that.
multi-millionaire directing
Yeah, why
Indiana
do they do
Jones. What do you care about me that has 10,000 followers on Twitter think about your film? So
Even
exactly, it's
Oscar-winning
about money.
director.
It's but it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
are they gonna kill him off? Like riding off into the sunset in the third
That's
film
beautiful.
is perfect.
The good news is by the end of Jones 5, we'll have beaten the patriarchy. That's the good news.
Well, you know what's crazy is like, as much as I don't want to believe, the time travel rumors are like thick, like freaking.
Dude, they're verified.
Yeah, like freaking thick.
Yeah.
Like it's happening. Like he goes back in time to see his younger self and forward in time, and he goes to the Romans, and like I think it's like
They gonna wishbone it?
find like why can't you go find like Jesus's toilet or something like that? That was cool when you went after religious artifacts. Because you took that mystery of like religion and
and that's the fun part about like YouTube that like I never expected is that like stuff that I would never report on. You get these fun little articles dropped onto your desk, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, this is gonna fucking suck." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not making a video on that. Not a chance."
With the Indiana Jones trilogy, and even with the fourth one, it's like Spielberg based it on like Judaism, Hinduism, and Christianity that was the original trilogy, and then with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is Scientology. So doing teleportation isn't what the fifth one. What religion is it based on? What woke culture of today? Is that what we're going to base
aliens,
it on?
bro? Straight up aliens now.
Disney's on a big time travel kick. I mean, look at what Endgame and like they're constantly using that. Like, I mean, multiverse is technically time travel, so you know, it's like they're on this time travel kick, and they're like, it's an easy fix. It's kind of lazy. Like back in the day, like you saw Back to the Future or Terminator, and you're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like I can see that happening. but you take it to a place. I mean, even Bill and Ted, like that was fun. That was like a fun.
Yo,
movie.
Bill and
At least
Ted's
the
my
first one.
shit. I love Bill and Ted.
Austin
so
Powers
much.
as well.
The Austin Powers did it in a way where it was a joke, so it's like that's funny,
Yeah,
you know, and
different.
so it's but they're on this kick where it's like, how do we write a good story? Just time travel. You can do whatever you want. Go see the Romans. Go here. Go see these people. Go to the Great Wall of China. Like you can do it all in 2 hours.
What was the movie that they made that had Paul? Damn, what was his name from Fast and the Furious?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. And it was based off a book, and they went back into the medieval ages, and they had to like fight Guy. Nobody remembers this movie.
No.
There's so many that do that.
Oh gosh,
exactly.
Martin Lawrence
so good.
went back in time and was like a knight in King Arthur's court.
No,
That's
no,
right.
No, I love that
Black
movie
Knight.
Yes.
Oh,
Timeline.
Timeline. Yeah.
Wait.
remembers Timeline?
Wasn't Timeline?
Straight to DVD.
Wasn't that singer from NSYNC?
No, I don't
Justin
think
Timberlake?
so.
Wasn't it Justin Timberlake? Oh no, that's where he
He
had
was
like
the-
a time meter on
Yeah, I
his
know which
wrist.
one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that was good though. That was a good
was a
movie.
good
I
one.
like that.
That was a creative story.
Yeah, that was
I've never
Out of
saw
Time.
Timeline.
I think that was called Out of Time, or
Okay.
yeah, something like that. That
Oh,
was
no,
good.
Timeline.
That was good. Everybody's like time cop.
Time.
I mean, even Harry Potter's done time travel with the whole time turner.
Yeah,
That's
True.
true.
Mm.
If,
All
it's
right,
done, if it's done well, like it's like you got to do it believable. Like that's the thing. Like when you use it as an escape, where it's like, how do we build like the? Listen, I love the Marvel's. Like I love Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy over DC. And what they put, like I don't think we'll ever see the 13 years of films. Like whether you love them or hate them, it was like at least they were consistent.
Yeah.
13 years. This is where we're starting. This is where we're going. We're gonna do a bunch of films in between. Some of them sucked. I get it. I watched them all. But then you get to the big finish, and it's like, well, how do we do this? Well, we gotta have everybody fight again, and we gotta do this. So make them time travel. It's an easy fix. You're like, yeah, I
Dude,
guess so.
and they can just meme on all the things people didn't like. They can just bring them back in and shit on them or pick fun at them and make it all like a copacetic thing. Like
you are so correct.
Star Wars doesn't have shit when it comes to that. Like
Dude,
we have
got
no
nothing.
outs. We have no outs.
But there is time travel in Star Wars and
Well,
Rebels.
we can't
wasn't
talk
there?
about it. People
isn't
don't even
time
like to
travel.
talk
No,
about
here
the
we
world
go,
between
here we
worlds.
go.
We're trying,
Oh,
bro.
God. Yeah. Grumble.
See?
No.
Oh shit.
If they don't put time travel in those Vin Diesel car movies, man, like they really missed out.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Fast and Furious being split into 2 parts? The final 10th movie.
Fast and Furious.
We're
back
going.
in time.
We don't need family.
He needs to go back in time, get into the DeLorean, and like,
Exactly. We're going. We don't.
dude,
need
he freaking drove a car into outer space. Like, there's nothing else he can do. Like,
Dom
Dude,
buys the DeLorean from Doc.
yeah, he's got to win it in a race.
I'm racing
Dude,
for
they
slips.
Spider-Man
I mean,
web-slingered the car to the cliff and then swung it around. Like, what?
Never say never because it's owned by Universal, both properties. So
Yo.
Listen, they
Cross
know
it.
at this time that
Stop.
those movies are memes of themselves. Like, they just know. They're just like, at this point, people are expecting the stupid, and we're gonna watch them. And I'm like, yep, I'm gonna watch it because I want to see him drive a car into outer space, and I'm like, they didn't disappoint. So
you know what the next one they'll be doing a remake of, and I know Jay, you're a big fan of it. It'll be Goonies.
Yeah.
There will be.
TV
Don't
show.
touch that shit. Don't touch
God,
that.
I
That's
hate
like
that.
I've already
It's
heard
like Home Alone.
rumors.
That's like Princess Bride. Don't make a Princess Bride remake.
That's cool.
Oh, no way.
Goonies never die.
I love that film.
Oh,
to
it's my
death.
wrong
Not
wrist.
that it was the greatest film ever, but I think we live in a world. I don't see it. That's kind of lame. I think we live in a world.
We had a really great stream. I appreciate everybody being here. No, I really do. I appreciate it.
And when I make like my 10 videos destroying your channel, like go after X-Wing. He's a
Drunk.
No, it's like
you're
we've
like
lost.
you're like Eminem now. If you diss me now, it just makes me bigger. You know what I mean?
But don't you think we've lost
It's
that
like
sense of
MGK.
adventure? Like kids today have lost that sense of adventure to go like
Yeah.
to go on a treasure hunt. And that the Goonies, as silly as it was like it was such a
fun.
cool adventure for kids to go on that they don't do anymore. I love that. I just love that about that film. I guess because being a school teacher, you see that it's like kids would rather just do this all day.
Yeah.
And not not go on their own adventures, but watch other people do. And it's like, and they just dream. They're like, oh, I'd love to do that. Well, go do it. Oh no.
Yeah, see, Jay, I was thinking that'd be cool if we had like, I was talking to Order 66 about getting the toys in. Like, wouldn't it be fun to do like, a Easter egg hunt, right? Where they have to be like, oh, you have to find each character and you got to go through the whole thing and you stick them on, different posts and stuff like that. And they got to go out and run and go find stuff. But
Well, it's like back on Goonies, though. I think my favorite scene is when they revealed the pirate ship because that was hidden from them. They weren't allowed to turn around until the camera started rolling, and they turned
I
around.
had no idea what was back there.
I heard that. Yeah.
And that was
They
all
built
on
a
Pinewood.
freaking ship.
Yep.
Yeah.
In London, in Pinewood Studios.
Yeah, but how cool would it be to Short Round was in that film? I don't care. It was Short Round.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me different.
Becca Jones.
But yeah, it's just like going on an adventure.
Dude, his intro is epic too.
It's such a they just don't do films like that anymore.
Well, Stranger Things was the closest. It's been the closest.
It was pretty
thing to
close.
Cobra Kai feels pretty good though.
Well, they're not going on a treasure hunt. They're karateing inside
Yeah.
people's houses, and no one's getting arrested. So it's like
There was a lot of violence in there.
there was a
though,
big fight in
bro.
a school where someone was paralyzed, and like the cops didn't even show up.
The dude literally got his shit broke off and like nobody came. Yeah, you're right.
It's like the teachers just stood there.
Well, one tried.
If there was a fight in my school, it's like the cops would be there and like the kids get arrested.
Immediately.
Like that's just how it is. So it's like we were. I mean, look, I get it. I get what they were trying to do. I love Cobra Kai. Don't get me wrong, but it was just like, all right, this fight's going on a long time.
Yeah.
Dude, that happened to me. I got expelled from my high school. I had to go live with my aunt in New York.
You had a 20-minute fight with 15 people that were black belts in karate in your school.
No, but it was actually two guys from differing, if you call them dojos. That was Krav Maga.
Okay.
He was doing Taekwondo, but same shit. And then my school found out I got expelled and I had to move to New York and I lived with my aunt in New York for like freaking a year and a half.
So you're
I had
the
to
Fresh
live on a
Prince of
couch.
Bel Air.
Yes.
But the opposite though.
1000%.
I
You're
lived
the
in
white
a,
version.
I lived in
That's
a
why you
beautiful.
went that way.
Yeah, I lived in like a beautiful, like nice pine tree community in freaking Truckee, California, and then I had to go live in freaking Hyde Park, New York,
Dude,
and it was
what the
trash.
Man, that needs to be the opening to your live streams. Now this is a story all about how this world got flipped turned upside down.
Are they using that song in the remake that they've just done? Or the reboot?
Oh my God,
No.
they're making a remake of
I don't
Fresh
think they
Prince.
Yeah,
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it's a serious drama.
drama.
It's
Yeah.
like not a comedy.
Not
It's like
at all the
serious.
Mhm.
Everything that we
Bel Air.
want to be serious, they don't make serious, and then everything we want to be fun, they do.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry, when we get Alien, like transgender Alien, come on with the new Alien TV series, we know.
We're gonna be really excited when the Xenomorph comes out as non-binary.
Right.
Yeah, we're real excited about that.
Well, apparently in the leaks for that, there's hybrid xenomorphs of humans.
So they're going back to like the Resurrection, Alien Resurrection,
yeah,
where Ripley had a baby alien. Christ.
where it didn't recognize the queen and cuts its head off and goes, "Oh look, there's my real mummy."
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Dude, that was
Resurrection
total
is
seed
terrible.
of Chucky weird ass shit.
All right, I'm ending this shit.
We went all over the place.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No, this was a fun stream, man. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to meet you guys. Like seriously,
Yeah,
it was-
I
it's,
appreciate
it's
you
nice
coming
to have
on.
cool conversations with like Star Wars, disagree, agree, but like that's what I miss about the fandom. Like at the end of the day, I'll get off the stream and like everybody's cool with each other no matter what you like or don't like, and it's like that. That's
Well, I'm not
what
cool with
we.
that.
It's what we miss,
He only meant half the things he said. He wasn't trying to be
Oh no, it's true. It's just like the world is missing that too. It's like we don't talk to each other anymore, and we don't have awesome conversations and debate things. Look, we went from freaking sequel trilogy to Hotel to Goonies to Indiana Jones, and we're all laughing and like that's what it's all about, man. That's what fandom is all about.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate that a lot, Jay. Yeah, because that's what, I try to do this on my Star Wars streams. We're not all going to see the same perspective every single time we talk about Star Wars, but we got to talk about this stuff. At least have a little bit of fun, enjoy each other, laugh a little bit, have some fun. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
I've got to show you, this is my newest purchase. I got the Captain Rex.
Oh, you got the Rex with the cape?
Yeah. Bad bat.
Nice.
I've actually got 2 of these. I just sold another one because I had 2 come through the post.
He's as
Nice.
bad as me when it comes to collectibles. He knows he knows my shit. All right, guys. Well, everybody, I hope you have a good night. I hope today finds you well. I hope tomorrow finds you better. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. Thank you so much, Jay, for coming and hanging out on a live stream. It's good to see you, buddy. Nick, as always, Scotty, Muff, Chrisman, the mum of the Discord. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody who donated to the channel today. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. May the force be with you always, and I will see you on the next one. Chicka chicka chow.